Thank you, Mark. It is the fourth knockout game of this World Cup, and so far we've had the dramatic tension of those Brazil penalties yesterday, the brilliance of Colombia against Uruguay, the late drama of the two Holland goals this afternoon. What are Costa Rica and Greece going to serve us up in Recife? Referee Benjamin Williams takes the football off its pedestal in front of the tunnel, and the two teams get welcomed into the arena. Under bright blue skies, some fluffy white clouds, nothing like the baking temperature of Fortaleza this afternoon. And what an opportunity for these two countries, for these two sets of players, the chance to make it to the World Cup quarter-finals for the very first time in their history. Possibly the most unexpected last 16 tie of the lot, but what a chance. Time for the national anthems in Recife, and first of all we will have the national anthem of Costa Rica. The Greek players applaud their fans dotted around the stadium in Recife. I have to say, actually, of all the venues I've been to so far, it's definitely the most mixed crowd I've seen so far. Little pockets of Costa Rican support, a real pocket of Greek support in the white and blue away to our right-hand side. Greece against Costa Rica about to get underway on BBC Radio 5 Live. And the two teams playing for the right, Jason Roberts, to meet Holland in the quarter-finals of the World Cup. This isn't necessarily a game back home that'll capture the imagination, but if you are one of those players on the pitch starting this game, what a massive opportunity to get yourself into the quarter-finals of the World Cup here in Brazil.
And to write history for your country. Both of these nations in different ways want to really perform. You look at Costa Rica, never had the opportunity to take it as far as they are, in Greece with the issues they're having back home. I heard that they said they don't want their bonuses, they'd like their bonuses to be donated back to the FA. So you realise that both of these sides have a lot to play for. I've been so impressed with Costa Rica. I saw them against Italy. I thought their midfield with Tejada and Borges were absolutely fantastic against Pirlo. So how Karagounis is going to be able to keep up with that pace will be a very, very important factor on who will win the battle in midfield.
One of the slight quirks we've got here are two Fulham players captaining the two sides, Brian Ruiz and Georgios Karagounis. Karagounis will be released by Fulham this summer, but you wouldn't necessarily have expected that, and as I keep saying, you wouldn't necessarily have expected this last 16 tie. Costa Rica quite sensational in Group D. They were in there with three former World Cup winners and three teams ranked in FIFA's top 10. They beat Uruguay 3-1, they beat Italy 1-0, and the goalless draw with England was irrelevant. They were through anyway. They topped the group, and Greece have done well to come back from a 3-0 defeat against Colombia. They, of course, have been brilliant in this tournament. Got the 0-0 draw against Japan, and then the late penalty from Georgios Samaras beat the Ivory Coast, and that is why they are here this evening. The two teams are just moving into the pre-match huddles. I'll get you quickly through the team lineups. Costa Rica have one of the star keepers of the tournament in goal, Keylor Navas of Levante. Three centre-backs, Oscar Duarte, Giancarlo Gonzalez and Michael Umania. The wing-backs are absolutely vital in this system. Junior Diaz on the left, Christian Gamboa with pace to burn on the right-hand side. Two absolutely key men in central midfield as well. Celso Borges, probably one of the best players in the team, and Yeltsin Tejeda, 22-year-old holding midfielder who could well be on the move this summer, and he likes to get his foot in early on. Christian Bolanos on the left and Brian Ruiz on the right, supporting Joel Campbell of Arsenal, no less, through the middle. And Greece have Orestis Karnesis in goal. Got injured in the first half against the Ivory Coast, but he's fit to start. Back four of Vasilios Torosidis, Kostas Manolas, Sokratis Papastathopoulos, second time lucky. Jose Holovas is the left back. Georgios Karagounis gets the nod over Kostas Katsaranis, who's back from suspension but starts on the bench. Andreas Samaras and Ioannis Maniatis help him, and Georgios Samaras through the middle with Dimitrios Salpingidis on his right and Lazaros Christodolopoulos, who came into the team against the Ivory Coast and played extremely well. Costa Rica kick us off, and they are playing in a sort of Crystal Palace away kit, I would describe it as, if you're listening to us on 5 Live back home. Pretty much all white. It's got a red swish across the chest of the shirt, bit of red trim on the shorts and white socks. And Greece in bold, bright, brilliant blue with white trim. Foul on Samaras early in the game is brought down in the inside right channel, 35 yards from goal. So a very early attacking opportunity for Greece, who, if they get themselves ahead in this game, Jason Roberts, they are going to be mighty difficult to beat.
And if they are going to get themselves ahead, it's going to be down to details. Great forward play by Samras, just holding it up, expecting the challenge, takes the challenge and gets an opportunity to get the ball into the box. And that's what Greece are good at. They're good at set plays. They're good when the game stopped, getting the details right and making sure that they make the correct runs into the box, and also making sure they get good delivery into the area.
Vanishing spray is out in the very first minute of the game. Referee Benjamin Williams has got the can out of the holster, just making sure that the cursory Costa Rican wall of just Christian Bolanos is 10 yards back. Karagounis will take the free kick, and it's the usual bit of line dancing on the edge of the penalty area. 5 Greeks, 6 or 7 Costa Ricans. Karagounis swings the ball in, it's headed away. Brian Ruiz gets his first touch and gives the ball away. Long range strike is high, rising way over the crossbar from Christa Delopoulos. And so we played a minute and a half in Recife, and it is Costa Rica 0, Greece 0, playing for the right to meet Holland in the quarterfinals on Saturday. So goal kick is taken short by Costa Rica to Duarte, who is the right centre-back. Scored the second goal in the win against Uruguay. Here's Tejeda, holding midfielder, with a big shaggy mop of black curly hair on top of his head. Played the ball back into the Costa Rican half. Long ball hit over the top for Ruiz to chase. Papastafopoulos covered the run, and it's in the arms of the Greek goalkeeper, Karnezis. Jason.
I thought Costa Rica started really slowly against Uruguay in their first game. That's why they went a goal behind. Against Italy, they started very, very strongly. And today, they've started with 3 up front. I mean, this formation is either a 5-4-1 or a 3-4-3. They've started it as a 3-4-3 with Ruiz and Bolanos really pushing up, supporting Cambo and trying to pin Greece into their half.
Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Mexico so close to reaching those quarterfinals this afternoon. Holland scoring with 88th and 94th minute goals. At one point we thought we might be looking at a Central American quarterfinal. Could have been Mexico against Costa Rica. Jason, of course, played his football in the CONCACAF region for Grenada. So a little part of you here, Jason, for Costa Rica, or are you sticking to the BBC?
Well,
impartiality?
I'm not sure, because my last game for Grenada was against Costa Rica. They took us, we drew 2-2 in Grenada, and it took us into the hills somewhere on an AstroTurf, and I'm quite sure I got kicked all over the park. So, of course, impartial.
Good man. 3 minutes in. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Holland already through to the quarterfinals with that dramatic late win against Mexico. Quarterfinals start on Friday. Possibility that the first one up, depending on results tomorrow, could be Germany against France, and then you're looking at Brazil against Colombia. And I can tell you the Brazilians we've been speaking to over the last 24 hours are slightly apprehensive about that game after the two teams' respective performances yesterday. Costa Rican throw, right-hand side, just inside their own half. It's dry in Recife. Last game we saw here, Germany-USA, was played in an absolute downpour. The pitch actually remarkably, it's in really good condition. It's even got sort of dry patches, little sort of blonde patches all over where it seems to have dried out. The sprinklers were on it before the game. It's a steep-sided, red-seated bowl of a stadium, not the prettiest from the outside, but again, once all the fans are in and you've got the colours and you've got the chants and you've got the noise, you are right in the heart of Brazil 2014. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Brian Ruiz with a little trick, and this breaks on the right-hand side for the driven shot from Gamboa, which is well wide. Didn't catch that right, and it's gone behind for a goal kick to Greece. It's 0-0.
Gamboa wasn't sure what to do there. He's just come in just on the edge of the box. He's been very ambitious with a shot, but Bolanos has made a fantastic run into the box. I think it would have been wise just to put it in the danger area and let Bolanos attack that.
Plenty of Brazilian shirts dotted around the stadium. All the neutral Brazilian fans, whenever they come to the games, they come in their team shirts, but they tend to pick a team to support as well, which can really add to the atmosphere. Argentina, Iran, last week that I saw, all the Brazilians picked up Iran and started cheering for them. And I noticed you yesterday, Jason, watching the Brazil game in the penalties. You had your Neymar shirt on?
I did. I thought I'm going to be in Brazil. How many times am I going to get an opportunity to watch Brazil play in Brazil? It was fantastic. I saw men crying, women crying. I saw relationships break up. Never seen passion like that about a football match before in my life.
Yeah, we'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. We're 5 minutes in here. BBC Radio 5 live at the World Cup in Brazil. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Oh, and ball given away here to Joel Campbell. In a dangerous position, it's 3-on-3, and Campbell's got support from Brian Ruiz on the right-hand side. He's forced a little bit wide with this pass, so Ruiz turns and goes away from goal. Karagounis is back for his team and wins the ball and holds both palms out and just says, everyone, calm down. There was no need to give the ball away. Manny Artis goes long down the middle of the field, and Giancarlo Gonzalez, the central centre-back of the three, throws himself at a diving header to win the ball for Costa Rica, and Amanya has it. But just for a moment there, Jason, real danger.
real danger also, and then Samaras makes a fantastic run in behind. There is going to be space. There are 3 men marking him, so what he's doing is picking aside and just bending his run in behind, making sure that he keeps the Costa Rican defence honest.
Yeltsin Tejeda, the holding midfielder, out to the powerful left wing back Junior Diaz, just rolls the ball delicately under his studs. Costa Rica have it on the halfway line. Celso Borges in central midfield plays the ball back into those 3 centre-backs, now looking for a little 1-2 down the right-hand side with Duarte. Duarte looks up and tries to pick a pass, floats it toward Ruiz. It's way over Ruiz's head, and Carneses will pick that up in the penalty. If Costa Rica score first here, Jason, then obviously the onus is on Greece. It's obviously to come forward and try and get the goals, but that is not what they are good at. That is not what they are known for. But
you saw in the game against Ivory Coast, when they need to attack, they do flood people forward, and they are very good at set pieces. I think Costa Rica, what they did there, Duarte taking the ball out from his position as right centre-half, it's not worth having 3 people marking Samaras, so one of the centre-halves, either the right-hand side centre-half in Duarte or the other side, Umania, will get the ball and drive out. That's the extra man. He's going to have space. He's going to have the opportunity to pick the pass. He's got to make sure he picks the right one.
Jason Roberts with us, BBC Radio 5 Live. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. The last 16 of the World Cup. Here's Joel Campbell. Lovely work from Joel Campbell right in the middle of the half. Gets it to Ruiz. Ruiz thought about the curling shot, then plays the ball in left-hand side. Bolaños hits the ball too high, flying over the crossbar and behind for a Greek goal kick.
Bolaños keeps his width as Rios gets the ball. Brian Ruiz turns and he just bends his run outside, keeps his width. It's quite far out. He would have had to catch it really well, and he did, but almost too good, and it went over the bar.
Both teams there actually appealing for a free kick in the build-up to the goal, because Campbell felt he was fouled by Karagounis. Karagounis then felt that he was held on to by Campbell as he went down, which didn't let him track the runner. But we've seen some early chances. 7.5 minutes in. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. The only goal that Costa Rica have conceded at this World Cup so far came in the first half of their first game against Uruguay, and it was a penalty. They haven't conceded in open play. Holovas, I think, has won Greece. I thought he won a corner there. I think the referee might have got that wrong. I thought that just took a touch off the toe of Gamboa, but referee gives a goal kick.
You spoke about their defensive record, and I think the backbone of that is this formation that they employ. Pinto has this formation, this 5-4-1, which switches into a 3-4-3. The wing backs are very, very ambitious when they need to, but also very defensive minded when they need to. I think a couple of sides have come up against it and not known what to do with it. Italy especially, having watched that game, they didn't know tactically what to do, but I was very surprised, and they deserve all the credit. They're dictating this game, and I thought they dictated the game against Italy too.
Yeah, a lot of possession early on here for Costa Rica. All in white with a bit of red trim. 8.5 minutes played in Recife. It's a muggy night. Nothing like the temperatures they were playing in earlier on today. And fair play to Holland as well to come back with 2 late goals, playing in that heat.
Lots of people have spoken about the European team playing in that heat, but Holland, seemed to kick on in the last 10-15 minutes, so not quite sure that is the case. I thought Holland looked fit. How that's going to translate into the next game will be the real challenge.
Bolaños with a flick-on header. Diaz is never going to catch that, and the ball runs behind for a goal kick. And Louis van Gaal preparing for life as Manchester United manager, Jason, with a couple of late goals, which is kind of what the chap before used to be known for.
Yes, Van Gaal time.
Van Gaal time, exactly. Holland through to the quarter-finals, and they will meet the winners of this game. Costa Rica against Greece. Goal kick for Greece. Now they're playing in the last 16 of the World Cup for the very first time here. Costa Rica have done it once before, back in 1990. Slice pass from Tejeda. Campbell will chase it. Nodded away from him by Papastathopoulos, and the ball given away by Greece dangerously down the left-hand side. Ruiz plays the ball back to the right wing back Gamboa. Gamboa decides to go backwards before going forwards. And Costa Rica work it from right to left. Umania plays towards Bolaños, who couldn't control that. Karagounis trying to barge his way down the right-hand side. Fouled by Umania. So he's won Greece the free kick. Katsaranis back from suspension. Started the first game in central midfield. Sent off against Japan. There's only 4 competitive games before today. He's not started under this coach, Fernando Santos, and all have been because of suspension. So that is a big call from Fernando Santos to go with Karagounis. Ball through the middle to Samaras. He's offside. He's giving it a little Brazilian flick over the defender's head as if, well, I would have smashed it in the top corner if I was on.
It's a fantastic touch, absolutely fantastic touch. If he keeps himself onside, he's in on goal. And this is where it's a different challenge for Costa Rica. When you're playing against Uruguay, Italy, England, teams who are expected to beat you, you can set out in a different way. They have to commit players forward against Greece. Greece are going to be more than happy just to sit in there, so they're going to have to make sure that when they do go forward, they keep the back door shut. I'm not actually sure that Samaras was offside there, so they're going to have to be careful about the way they deal with committing men forward.
11 minutes in Recife, on the northeast coast of Brazil. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0, 50-50 ball. Right on the halfway line, a couple of heavy challenges go in, works out Greece's way. Here's Costa on the left-hand side in the bright orange boots, good skill. Takes him past the first defender, now onto his right foot, hits the shot, and he's always dragging that wide. And it goes behind for a goal kick. Referee quite rightly let that play on, because as he went past Gonzalez really attempted a rugby tackle on him. Christodoulos kept going, just didn't quite catch the shot with his right foot.
And he was more than happy to come inside, he had no problem. I don't think he's going to be running down the wing and trying to put crosses in. If he gets the opportunity to come inside and hit a shot, he's going to do that. So that's something to be mindful of from Costa Rica's point of view.
Costa Rica again start to build from the back. The goalkeeper, Keylor Navas, rolls it out to Emania. The left centre-back immediately comes under pressure from Salpingidis, so when Costa Rica, those three centre-backs, have it, Greece are going to press them high up the field. Navas goes a little bit longer to the left-hand side. Diaz overhits the pass with his left foot, and he's clumped it really, and it's gone all the way behind at the other end for a goal kick to Greece. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. By the way, what you were saying, Jason, about watching those penalties yesterday, those two guys on our left-hand side were crying during the penalty shootout. They literally, the only explanation I could think was they could not handle the tension. They just couldn't handle the pressure, could they?
They couldn't. What they could handle was several useful words in Portuguese that I hadn't heard of before, so I've added that to my dictionary. They were actually crying before the penalties were taken. One of them jumped up and down. I think he broke his girlfriend's chain. She wasn't best pleased, and I think that relationship's over. Yeah,
no, we saw that little contretemps develop. And the two lads were rather more interested in celebrating the fact that Brazil had gone through to the quarter-finals. Well, we were down on our hands and knees like chivalrous gents, weren't we, looking for the lost necklace, which we never managed to find. Brazil are through. They'll play Colombia in the quarter-finals. This is Costa Rica-Greece on 5 Live. 13 minutes in, 0-0. Jorge Luis Pinto, the Colombian, the mastermind behind this Costa Rican performance at this World Cup, in his grey suit, stands hands on hips in the technical area watching his team. Joel Campbell's bundled over on the halfway line. That is a foul, so Costa Rica get themselves the free kick. And Celso Borges, number 5 on his back, wants to take that quickly and passes it to his central midfielder partner Tejeda. Ball's played wide to Gamboa with the instep, trying to find Ruiz down the right hand side, intercepted by Holovas at left back for Greece. Papastathopoulos hits it up towards Samaras. Nice little chest down from him to Christodoulos, and he's got the Costa Rican defenders backtracking. Samaras' ball into the penalty area is knocked behind by Umania for the first Greece corner of the game.
Fantastic centre-forward play from Samaras. He can do this. He's already shown little signs. Physically, he's got the better of Duarte. He's just held the ball up and bent his running again, got the ball and put a useful ball into the box. He's going to be so critical to Greece's game plan.
Coming up to 15 minutes played in Recife. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Corner for Greece. They'll be absolutely desperate to get themselves ahead. Famous for their 1-0 wins. Had 5 of them out of 10 in qualification in their group. Karagounis, the skipper, getting ready to take the corner with his right foot to the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's headed wide by Papastathopoulos, the Borussia Dortmund centre-back, and he just knows, you can just tell by the look on his face, he knows that was half an opportunity there to get a decent header in on goal.
He was running away from the goal. It's always hard to get your header back on target when you're actually running away from the goal. It's good movement from him, but Costa Rica straight after that, everyone's pointing, everyone's waving their hands up in the air. They need to make sure that whoever they're marking, they get close to them, they get as tight as they possibly can without giving a penalty away, because Greece are very, very useful at set plays.
Keylor Navas, Costa Rican keeper, looks very comfortable with the ball at his feet, as well as being a goalkeeper. I think he's got a buyout clause this summer of something like £8 million, and I think there might be a Few clubs will be interested. Seen some good goalkeepers at this World Cup. We've lost one today in Ochoa, the Mexican.
Fantastic performance today, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And here are Costa Rica on the ball with Duarte. Duarte with a curling right-footed pass up the right-hand side. Ruiz, nice first touch, and terrible pass back to Gamboa. Absolutely fired it at him, but nowhere near him. And the ball goes straight out for a Greek throw. 16 minutes in. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Tomorrow's games for you from Brazil 2014 on BBC Radio 5 Live. Two more last 16 games. France against Nigeria. Kicks off at 5 o'clock UK time. Germany against Algeria. Kicks off 9 o'clock UK time. And of course Wimbledon back underway again tomorrow on Radio 5 Live. Andy Murray is in last 16 action up against Kevin Anderson. So loads of excellent sport for you tomorrow. Flag is up here for offside against Salpingidis. And Costa Rica get themselves a free kick. And I guess it's no surprise, Jason, the way this game has started.
No, it hasn't. I've spoken 2 or 3 times about the fact that Samaras has started the game really well. I've played up front by myself for a long time in my career, and it's a very, very underrated job. It's not just about the goals that he brings, it's the fact that he works so hard, holds the ball up, allows his team to get out of the danger area. He's a very, very effective player for this team, and they're going to have to make sure they get good quality ball into him and get themselves out of the pressure they're going to inevitably have to be under.
Samaras, here he is right now. Another one in the bright orange boots. Joel Campbell slides in, but the tackle is ineffective. Samaras then just lays it off to Holovas. Holovas with a quick pass infield to Christodouloulas. Back out to Holovas again. Christodouloulas, nice build-up from Greece at the moment until a pass goes astray. And this means Costa Rica can come on the break. And Ruiz is trying to dart between a narrow little avenue there, between 2 players. Maniatis has fouled him. Jason Roberts shakes his head. Costa Rica get the free kick.
It's a clever free kick for Ruiz as he breaks through. I'm not sure it's a foul, but it's enough for him to go down. The strange thing is Costa Rica are more dangerous when Greece have the ball. When Costa Rica have the ball and Greece sit in and are all in their holes, it's very, very hard to break them down. But as soon as Greece get on the ball, that's when there's danger. That's when the likes of Ruiz and Campbell and Bolanos are getting ready to break with pace going forward.
Borges for Costa Rica into Ruiz, who just lays it off first time. Plays it back to Duarte, just inside the Greece half. Greece happy to sit and hold at the moment. Just keep their shape. Pinto shouting the instructions. You might even be able to pick some of that up on our microphones as Costa Rica give the ball away. Papastathopoulos, the centre-back, has lost it though, easily tackled by Ruiz. And then that's a loose pass from Diaz, so Salpingidis has it for Greece just inside his own half. Karagounis, nice first touch, just took it away from Ruiz, and Karagounis runs from right to left. Christodouloulas back into midfield. Here's Samaris, who's starting in this Greece team tonight. Scored against the Ivory Coast, came on early in the first half because of the injury to Panagiotis Kone. Just adds a little bit of extra energy in that midfield alongside Georgios Karagounis, who's winning his 139th cap for his country this evening. Costa Rica have the ball back again. Here's Tejeda through the middle towards Joel Campbell, trying to bring this down at the second attempt, does well, slides in, gets it to Ruiz. Ruiz trying to find Campbell again in the middle. Holovas read it, left back came across well, cut the ball out and clears down the right-hand touchline with his right foot. Jason Roberts.
It's the first link-up we've seen between Ruiz and Campbell. They're the players going forward who can do something a little bit different, bring a bit of magic to this Costa Rica side. They're going to need more of the ball, and again that came from Greece losing the ball in the transition. Greece are more than comfortable when they're in their position, but when they get on the ball, strangely enough, that's when they look slightly vulnerable.
19 minutes in, Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Bolaños miscues a pass, but it works out okay for Costa Rica. Joel Campbell's had an excellent World Cup so far. Just wonder what Arsene Wenger will do with him next season. Joined Arsenal as a 19-year-old in 2011, and so far has spent seasons on loan at Lorient in France, Real Betis under Pepe Mel in Spain, and then Olympiacos last season. 11 goals there, has scored a World Cup goal. He's looked good, Jason.
He has, and what I've been impressed with as well is his movement. I mean, playing up front by yourself is not easy, but he's got the movement to do it. He's really comfortable drifting out to this right-hand side, coming inside and hitting shots. So I think it wouldn't surprise me if we see him back at Arsenal once they sort the work permit issues and possibly challenging for a place.
Costa Rica get themselves a corner. Lovely little back heel from Brian Ruiz. Gamboa's cross is blocked. So corner for Costa Rica, 20 minutes in. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0, goes without saying. Knockout tie, got to be decided here in Recife this evening. Could be extra time, could be penalties. We've had the one penalty shootout so far, and I don't think there's ever been a more dramatic one. Certainly not witnessed here in Brazil. Ruiz lays it off to Campbell from the corner. Nice bit of skill from Campbell. Heads towards the byline. Oh, now then he's caught. Now, was that inside the area or outside? Referee says just outside. He knocked the ball past Karagounis. Karagounis left the leg trailing. Campbell went absolutely flying over it, but he was moving at a speed. And let's just see whether it was outside the area. Yes.
Just outside the area. Excellent skill from Campbell, and Karagounis absolutely cleans him out, smashes right into him on the edge of the box. Just done by skill, absolutely done by skill. And now they've got an opportunity to put the ball into the box.
Yeah, it's one of those short corner free kicks because it's just outside the penalty area. It's 3 yards up from the byline on the right-hand side. Karnesis, the Greek keeper, screaming at his near post, trying to get his two-man wall just move a little bit tighter to the byline so Bolaños can't squeeze something in at the near post. 21 minutes play. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Can Costa Rica take the lead from this? Bolaños holds both hands up in the air. Referee has sprayed his little white line in the penalty area, 10 yards away from Bolaños, where he stands over the ball. And he's got one now then. Who's gone down in the 6-yard box? Junior Diaz has gone down in the 6-yard box, claiming he was caught as he was waiting for the free kick to be taken. Referee's dealt with that. He's going to call Diaz over. Just trying to see who that is with him. It's the right back, Torresidis. Torresidis and Diaz get the talking to. Bolaños continues to wait. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Here's Bolaños, curls it in with his right foot. And Gonzalez couldn't get the header on target. A couple of the Costa Rican players threw themselves at that ball. Borges was another one. And neither really made the contact they wanted. And the ball went right through the penalty area. Now a massive long ball forward from Greece, which was aimed at Costa easily cut out. Greece have no one else in support. Costa Rica have 6 players back in their own half. They've got the ball. And it's with Diaz. Wasn't too far out. Decent ball in, Jason, from the
fantastic, really good ball and good movement. Good attitude to attack the ball, but the Greek players know how to defend. If they can't get their head in the ball, they're going to make sure that you can't get anything on it either, and it's really good defending from them. They know exactly what they're doing in those situations.
First Mexican wave is rippling its way around this stadium. The arena Pernambuco in Recife, around the lower tier. Got 4 tiers all told. Ball is now chipped towards Bolaños. He's beaten in the air by Papastathopoulos, and that's headed out for a throw into Costa Rica, right-hand side, about 8 yards short of the byline. And it's Christian Gamboa, pacey right back, who's getting ready to take it. Brian Ruiz just jogs languidly towards him, pokes the ball back to Gamboa. Here's Ruiz again. Little touch takes him away from Christodoulos. Karagounis slides in and wins the ball. Gamboa can't control. Karagounis is down hurt. He's holding his left knee, claims he was caught in a tackle. And he might just be in a little bit of bother here. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. The roars you can hear is the Mexican wave going around the stadium, because the game at the moment, Jason Roberts, certainly doesn't quite merit that sort of adulation.
It doesn't, but everyone seems to be having a good time. It's amazing how many yellow shirts here, but they're all engaging in the game. They're enjoying themselves. It's one of the best Mexican waves I've ever seen.
No, they are good. They are good. They're multicoloured, and they certainly get into them over here. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Just over 20 minutes remaining in the first half on BBC Radio 5 Live. Home of Brazil 2014 on the radio. And disappointingly, Jason, 13 games to go, including this one. So 12 and 3/4 games to go at this World Cup.
It's gone so quickly.
Ball in towards Samaras. Difficult one to deal with for Gonzalez. Stooping header behind. Greece win a corner.
Samaras applauds the ball as well, because again it's another good run from him. He doesn't even need to bend this run, just a straight line run right in behind the Costa Rican defence, who are holding a very, very high line. Like I said, this is a different challenge for them, because they're going to have to be the ones dictating the play, getting on the ball all the time against the side who are more than happy sitting in. At the same time, when they do that, they need to make sure that they keep the back door closed.
25 minutes in, Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Greece corner will be taken by Karagounis on the right-hand side, and referee's not going to let it be taken just yet, because he's spotted a bit of pushing and shoving between Duarte and Samaras. Gonzalez, who headed the ball behind for the corner. Tell you a little bit about him in a second. Karagounis with the corner into the near post, bravely won by Borges. Little flick on, reaches Campbell just inside the Costa Rican half, and now Costa Rica could turn this into a fabulous attacking opportunity, and Borges with the ball through, just couldn't find his man, otherwise Greece were in real trouble.
Borges, he takes the wrong option there. He's got 3 or 4 players streaming forward. Just keep taking the touches, keep driving the ball forward until one of the Greece defenders have to make a decision. He makes an early decision, tries to play the ball and doesn't complete the pass. Poor play from him.
25 minutes in, Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Skies are darkening above us, partly because it's night time. Sort of sense a little bit of rain in the air as well. It is rainy season in this part of the world, and when it rains, it certainly rains. We saw a little bit of it on the way into the stadium today. Lovely turn from Joel Campbell here, midway inside the Greece half. Papastathopoulos just did enough to stay with him and hold him off and win the ball back.
Great strength from the Greece defenders there. They know what they're doing. Sometimes they're not getting a clean challenge on the ball. What they're doing is making sure that the man doesn't go past them. You can see why they kept so many clean sheets. 8 clean sheets in their qualifying campaign. But you can also see why they've only scored 2 goals. And that's only in the 1 game against the Ivory Coast.
Ball is floated out to the left-hand side. Holovas is beaten in the air. Greece get themselves a throw. Yeah, they got through the group with 2 goals, and one of them a late, debatable penalty, which Samaras tucked away against the Ivory Coast. Lost 3-0 to Colombia, drew 0-0 against Japan in a pretty awful game. But when they needed to get the win, they got the win. And their major tournament record, Greece, apart from Euro 2004, obviously, which they went on to win in Portugal, reads 1-3, drawn 2, lost 13. The wins coming against Nigeria 4 years ago in the World Cup, Russia at Euro 2012, I saw that game, that was their last group game, took them into the quarterfinals, and of course beat the Ivory Coast. So all in all, their major tournament record is not the best, but saying that, they have won a major tournament. They won Euro 2004.
Not many sides can say that.
Exactly, and England fans would absolutely love to say that. Now then, Papastathopoulos with the diagonal ball from right to left, chased by Christodoulos. Little turn from him down by the byline. Good work, gets away from Gamboa. Duarte comes into cover and with a real thump of a toe punt clears the ball for Costa Rica. Greece throw. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Christodoulos plays it back here to Samaras, who might fancy the shot. Sliding challenge in from Tejeda. Now Karagounis with his right foot. Bounces awkwardly, well taken by the keeper Navas.
And you can tell this is a tactic from Greece. When they get the opportunity anywhere around the box, they're happy to have a shot 30 yards out, 35 yards out. They'll get their foot through it, get their head down, get an opportunity to test this goalkeeper. I guess one of the reasons they're doing that is because they're not releasing too many people into the box. They get in around the box, they're happy to take their shot and filter back into their positions.
By the way, in saying that, I am aware that England won the World Cup in 1966. I am aware they have won a major tournament. I'm just talking more recent history. Brian Ruiz for Costa Rica. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Ruiz with the ball on his left foot. Cheeky little back heel to Tejeda. Crisp first-time ball from Tejeda out wide to Gamboa. Little 1-2 with Joel Campbell. Tries to get it back to Campbell. Greece break this up. Samaras, nice bit of skill, takes him away from Ruiz. And Greece start to move swiftly now down the left-hand side. 4 men forward in the attack. Here's Holovas, the left back. Looks to go on the outside of Duarte. Gets the ball in all towards the back post. And I thought Karagounis was continuing his run there and might be able to hit that first time. He's had to scuttle away to the right to maintain possession. Left-footed ball in. Samaras goes for the header and he couldn't quite connect. And the offside flag was up anyway. But as Samaras launched himself towards that, I was looking for the ball heading into the back of the net.
It looks like he could have got a purchase on that if he wasn't offside. He was in the right position. He just strayed offside as the ball comes in. But you see this all the time when you do pattern of play on a Thursday or a Friday getting ready to play a game, when you play against 9 men who are not moving from their positions defensively. It's really hard to break them down. I think Costa Rica were getting a little bit frustrated with their lack of quality to break them down, but there we saw what Greece can do. When they commit men forward, 3, 4, 5 men, they look dangerous.
Lovely little flick there from Campbell to find Ruiz. Ruiz just held up a couple of blue-shirted defenders, but then Campbell, little switch pass, picks that up from Ruiz, and then uses his body really well to try and shake off 2 defenders. Got so much about him, Joel Campbell. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. Uses his body really well when he's running at defenders.
He's very clever. That was a really good turn. If he could have pulled it off, he just sidesteps one way and turns, and he's got an opportunity to run in on the goal, and it just didn't come off. But that's what they're going to have to do. It's going to have to be something a little bit different, a little bit of magic, because Greece are very, very hard to break down. Half
an hour play. Watching this with Jason Roberts on BBC Radio 5 Live. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Holovas under pressure from Ruiz. Gamboa wins the corner to Costa Rica. Great little line about Joel Campbell, by the way, was when he was named in the World Cup squad, he got his FIFA sticker book, you know, the Panini album, and he bought 100 packets to try and find a sticker of himself. And amongst those 500 stickers, there was not one of Joel Campbell. Whether he carried on by and whether he ever got one, he would have had a few swaps, so he probably would have been able to get one from a mate, I guess. Half an hour played, Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Corner is swung in by Campbell right underneath the bar, well taken by Karnezis.
Excellent take from Karnezis. That's exactly what you want from your keeper when you get a ball like that, just in on the edge of the 6-yard box. Come out and claim it and release Greece forward with a really good throw. Yeah,
Greece have made a lot of ground very quickly. Papastathopoulos with the run down the right-hand side. Low ball into the box. It's cleared away, but only just by Costa Rica. Samaras drives another shot back and it hits Samaras. And the ball just spins out to the left-hand side and the offside flag goes up, because after that hit Samaras, Christodoulos was offside. But all of a sudden there, Karnezis went from catching the corner and Greece 10 seconds later in the opponent's penalty area.
They broke very quickly, but Samaras has a shot here from all of 40 yards with the side of his foot. It's like a pass, really. I mean, it's a shot, but he hit it and it looked like a pass in the end. If Samaras could have controlled it, it would have been an on goal. But those are the details where you can't get frustrated. If you're Costa Rica, you can't get frustrated with the fact that you've got all the ball, because as soon as you start committing men forward and people don't cover their positions, that's when Greece, they pick and choose when they release men forward. Sometimes they'll release 1 or 2, but then at times they'll release 4 or 5, and that's what you just don't know what's coming from them.
Playing for a place in the World Cup quarterfinals. Massive game for these two countries. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Neither of them before have gone further than this. This is the first last 16 game ever for Greece in their 3rd World Cup. Costa Rica playing in their 4th World Cup and have got to the last 16 once. And the team that did that, as I understand it, are still national heroes back home. They beat Scotland in their first game in Italia 90, got through to the last 16, then got well beaten 4-1 by a Czechoslovakia side. But if Costa Rica can make it through to the quarterfinals to face Holland, or Greece for that matter, then, well, you can only imagine the celebrations in those two countries, and I think we'll see a little bit of it from the two sets of fans here this evening in Recife, because they know how to have a party as well, because after the Brazil win yesterday, which finished at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the beach party, Jason, was still going on this morning outside our hotel.
It was, and I can confirm I wasn't there. I only know it was going on because I was in my bedroom listening to what could only be described as the loudest sound system I've ever heard in my life, beating this music, which wasn't of my taste, if I'm being honest, until 4 in the morning. It was bedlam. Fireworks going off, crackers, all sorts of stuff. But they were enjoying themselves.
Brazil next in action on Friday. And that'll be quarter-final action, full commentary on 5 Live. Brazil against Colombia. Should be some game. This is Costa Rica against Greece. 12 minutes remaining in the first half in Recife. It's 0-0. Haven't really seen any chances as yet. Bolaños smashed an early left-footed attempt over the bar. We've had a couple of crosses swung into the box where people haven't quite been able to get on the end of things. Long ball here is aimed towards Gamboa for Costa Rica. He's not going to catch that. He is quick, but he was never getting that, and the ball's gone behind for a goal kick.
In possession, both Duarte and Amanya are the spare men, so in effect they become the fullback when Costa Rica have the ball, and they need to do a little bit better with their use of the ball. At the moment, their use of the ball hasn't been as good as it can be. I think they're a little bit shocked that they have so much time on the ball, but when they do in effect become the fullbacks, they need to make better decisions on the ball.
11 minutes remaining in the first half. And the goal kick is cleared to the left by Karnezis. Manolas wins a header for Greece midway inside his own half. Samaras almost caught there by Tejeda. Tejeda really caught my eye in the first game against Uruguay. First 10 minutes really stamped his authority on the game. Conceded a couple of fouls, lucky not to get the yellow card against him, but let his opponents know he was there. Campbell's going down very easily in the penalty area here, running alongside Manolas, and the referee, Benjamin Williams, the Australian, having none of that.
Very clever from Manolas. He's got contact with Campbell there. He just links arms with him, and he's got to be careful because you've seen them give him, but they're very cute. They know exactly what to do. Just enough pressure to make sure that you don't get to the ball, but not enough to make sure that it's a free kick. Right. Very wise, very clever defenders.
A few jeers and whistles around the stadium at the moment. I think possibly either from the Costa Rican fans or the neutrals, because Greece taking a little bit of time about getting play moving again. Campbell this time is caught midway inside the Greece half. We're going to get the first yellow card of the half, and it goes to Andreas Samaras for the challenge on Joel Campbell. But every time Joel Campbell picks the ball up, he he's looking to win fouls. He's difficult to deal with.
He's looking to do something different. I mean, there he's trying to turn from a very, very deep position. He's done it 3 or 4 times, just lets the ball roll past him, knows where the space is, knows what he wants to do with it, knows he wants to get the ball and start facing the Greek goal, because at the moment he's having a lot of the ball up with his back to the goal. He wants to get turned, he wants to get an opportunity to run at people, and when he does, he's very, very dangerous. He's not content just to stand up against them. He wants to come deep and get on the ball.
Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Sadly, it's Jason's last game with us at this World Cup for 5 Live, and he's had a bit of a topsy-turvy trip as well, but a great trip at the same time. Bolaños with the free kick into the area. Powerfully headed away. Salpingidis with a little touchback to Karagounis, who lofts a high ball out to the left-hand side. Brilliantly brought down by Holovats, who lobs the ball on to Christodoulos. Samaras making a good run for him inside, down the inside left channel. Christodoulos delays, then plays the ball to Karagounis. Long way out. 25 yards now and closing. Plays it back into midfield to Samaris. Here's Holovas. Holovas with the cross across the face of the area. Chested down by Umania. And cleared away hurriedly with his right foot. Samaris again, good control. Here's Holovas with a bit of space and time for Greece on the left-hand side. Better ball in towards the far post. Salpingidis. Oh, somehow it's deflected wide. Incredible bit of defending by Junior Diaz back there, who's got his body in the way, because otherwise Salpingidis is putting that into the back of the net to give Greece the lead.
This ball is absolutely sensational into the far post. Salpingidis gets the run on Diaz, and he hits it true. It's a side foot. He's just controlled the ball in. What a save. What a fantastic save from Navas. Just he's going the wrong way, gets his leg up to it, but that's what they can do when they get in wide areas. They can put really great quality, and this ball is absolutely fantastic.
Incredible block from the goalkeeper Keylor Navas, going the wrong way, stuck his right leg out, and somehow the ball has ricocheted behind for a corner. Salpingidis thought he'd score. This is the corner for Greece, still 0-0. Karagounis in towards the far post, headed away by Gonzalez. Referee spotted a foul on Keylor Navas in the area. Initially, I thought Diaz had got the touch, but that, from Keylor Navas, a little bit like the Ochoa save.
It was a fantastic save, because he's going the wrong way and somehow he's managed to get his foot out and just block it. He's made himself as big as possible. He got out as quickly as he could as well, because the ball, it just said attack me, and there was no way that the goalkeeper could get to it. He got as close to the ball as he could and just made himself big. Excellent positioning from Navas.
Fabulous cross on the left as well, wasn't it, from Holovas?
Oh, Holovas's ball it's just sensational. Right to the back post with that whip with his left foot. The keeper can't come to it. It's curling away from him. And those are the things where the Greeks are very, very good. When they break with quality. There was an opportunity just before Samaras was waving his arms around, because there's an opportunity for him to go in. When they go forward, they have to make sure they make the right decisions, because they're not going to be going forward too often, I would presume.
As we say, they're the masters of the 1-0 win. And Costa Rica know if they get behind, it's going to get very, very difficult. Salpingidis so close to the opening goal of this game. BBC Radio 5 Live, 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Tired ball from Manolas there with his socks rolled down from the edge of the area. Samaras has done well for Greece on the right-hand side. Good first-time ball again from him to Karagounis. Sweet pass into midfield to Samaris. We've got a Samaris and a Samaras. So we've got to make sure we differentiate between those two. Holovas, the left-back, who just put in that excellent ball for the Salpingidis chance. And here's Samaris. Samaris into Salpingidis. Offside, shot on the turn. Navas saves. Salpingidis didn't catch it quite right. Last 5 minutes though, Greece just building a head of steam here.
They pick their times. I mean, they don't go forward all the time. When they do, they have a sustained bit of pressure for 4, 5, 10 minutes, but then they drop back into their holes again when they realise they just have to just lead themselves and get into the game again. But when they break with intention. Samaras is having a really good game so far. He's holding the ball up, he's causing them all sorts of problems, but that's 4 or 5 offsides given against the Greek side, and at some point you've got to give some credit to Costa Rica for the line they're holding. It's not easy when you're playing 3 at the back. You've got to make sure everyone's in the line, and they're doing it very well, keeping their discipline.
Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. That's Jason Roberts you're listening to on Radio 5 Live. 2 more commentaries, World Cup commentaries to come tomorrow. France-Nigeria kicks off 5 o'clock UK time. Germany-Algeria at 9. Samaras is trying to bring the ball down aerially on his chest, just nudged off it by Gonzalez. Here's Karagounis in the centre circle, inside the Costa Rican half. Greece having their best spell of the game at the moment, just making Costa Rica work. Try and get this ball back. Temperatures sort of mid to late 20s here. Nice little evening sea breeze as well, though, as Samaras plays the ball down the inside right channel. Salpingidis looks for the run over the top from Karagounis. The ball just drifts behind for a goal kick to Costa Rica. So 5 minutes remaining in the first half. In terms of your travels, Jason, 6 days without a suitcase, root canal surgery here in Recife.
But apart from that, it's gone really well. I mean, I've loved the football. It's been an absolute pleasure being here. But I must admit, when the tooth started hurting, I thought, this could be a problem. And then my stuff didn't turn up, which was an education. Thank you for offering to borrow me some of your shirts.
Yep.
I had to decline the offer. It was nothing to do with your clothes. It was just, I'm not sure they would fit me.
Let's not go back there, Jason. They've already taken a bit of stick for that. On air at this World Cup, 4 minutes remaining in the first half. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Best chance of the game so far a few moments ago, Salpingidis. The brilliant save from Keylor Navas, Costa Rican keeper who continues to add to his burgeoning reputation here in Brazil. Junior Diaz in space on the left-hand side. Low ball into the box, but Lanios can't quite control it. Ruiz hangs back and hangs deep, the Costa Rican captain. Low pass into Campbell. Good run from Campbell, coming towards the ball. Poor pass from Campbell. Gives it away to Salpingidis. Maniatis might get caught by Joel Campbell on the edge of the area. Referee has given a foul against Joel Campbell there, and I think Maniatis got a bit lucky.
I think he got very lucky. I don't think that's a foul. Campbell just showed really good strength and desire to close him down the edge of the box.
Oh, now then, Duarte's got caught on the edge of his own box, and he's decided he had to pull Christodoulos back, and quite rightly he's getting booked. It was a little ball lobbed over the top. Duarte, I thought, had it covered. It ran away from him a little bit, and suddenly Christodoulos was in. Duarte did what he had to do.
Duarte found himself underneath the ball, on the wrong side of the ball. Once he realises that he's not going to get back, he commits a tactical foul. Lots of people talk about this, is it right, is it wrong? When you're out there for your team, you take a yellow card, especially when you've made the mistake and someone's running in on your goal. He had defenders coming in to cover him, but that is what we call in the game a tactical foul.
So yellow card each side. Duarte picks one up for Costa Rica. But more importantly, Costa Rica have got to get this wall right and got to get this defending right, because the free kick, if you look at it from Keylor Navas's position, the Costa Rican keeper, who at the moment, with his short sleeve green shirt, is leaning back against his right post, and the ball is probably a further 7-8 yards to his right hand side. That's the angle that Greece are looking at. 5 yards outside the box. Karagounis is there, and Holovas, the left back, is there as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Greek players waiting in the penalty area. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. The Costa Rican bench have spotted something, and they think they need to get a further man back to defend. No time. Karagounis floats the free kick in, and Navas comes out, cool as you like, jumps in the air and plucks the ball out of the sky.
I was watching Navas's position in there. I thought he was a little bit to his left. If the shot had come in the near post, I thought he was exposing himself. What he was doing is getting himself ready to come and take this ball, and that's exactly what you want. Couple of minutes left in the half. You want your keeper to come out, be brave, and claim the ball.
Well, his has been the moment of this first half so far. Brilliant save with his right leg, going the wrong way. Salpingidis with the volley. Thought he'd given Greece the lead. Just over a minute to play, plus added time in the first half in Recife. Duarte floats the ball down the right-hand side. Gamboa just trying to muscle in down the byline. Holovas is fouled. Gamboa hauls him to the floor, and Greece get themselves a free kick.
Gamboa makes the foul, but he shows his pace getting in behind, and I said Duarte and Munya are going to have a lot of the ball, and this is a really good ball from Duarte. When he becomes that fullback, when he steps out of his right side of the three centre-halves, he has to make sure he delivers good balls. This time he does, in behind for Gamboa. He shows pace, but, you know, a poor foul really, because he was in an opportunity to drive in and get across him possibly.
Two teams still can't be separated at the moment. The winners of this game will meet Holland in Salvador next Saturday, and they will play for a place in the semi-finals of the World Cup. Samaras has lost the ball on the right-hand side. Maniart is trying to win the 50-50 against Duarte. Ball spins up, lovely little flick from Campbell here. Tejeda is trying to spoon it on to Ruiz on the right. Samaras, though, has it for Greece. That's a risky pass. Manolas chests it down. Campbell was right behind him. Samaras, I'm not sure, really looked there. Absolutely thumped it at the centre-back, who did well for him. Torresidis, the right back, floating one through the middle. Gonzalez wins a header for Costa Rica. Might come down to Karagounis. Karagounis takes a touch, edge of the box. Another cross in. Samaras brings it down on his chest. Back to goal. Lays it off here to Samaris. Scuffs the shot slightly and the ball goes spinning its way through the Costa Rican penalty area. And out for a throw into Greece on the left-hand side. We've got 2 minutes of added time remaining at the end of this first half.
Samaras holds it back, holds it up again with his chest. He's done that 6 or 7 times, drops it back. It's nearly 40 yards out, bobbly ball, and Samaras tries to strike it from there. It's not worked for him so far. He needs to have a little bit more quality when they get close to the Costa Rican 18-yard box.
Yeah, it's a foolish offside there from Greece. They had the throw-in on the left-hand side. Holovas then tried to find Christodolopoulos, who was just standing by the byline, and he was miles offside. And so Costa Rica get a chance to relieve the pressure, and we have just over a minute remaining in this first half. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. It's kept the attention because of what's riding on it, and what a momentous occasion it will be for either of these two countries to make the World Cup quarter-finals. It hasn't been the free-flowing festival of football that we've seen at Brazil so far, but I don't think we were necessarily expecting that anyway in this game. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Maniatis with the ball out wide right to Salpingidis. Diaz wins it for Costa Rica. Bolaños jumps now to try and win a header. Maniatis with a header for Greece. Costa Rica have it back inside their own half. Here's Duarte. Duarte to Tejeda. Tejeda's first touch just gave Samaris a little chance to take the ball off him, but Samaris has got a little bit overzealous with the challenge and concedes the free kick. 20 seconds remaining in the first half. Free kick for Costa Rica just inside their own half. Good ball as well, this play to Diaz on the left-hand side. Tries to flick it infield to Bolaños. 12 seconds remaining in the first half. Are Costa Rica going to get this ball in the area? Or are they just going to keep it and decide, you know what, that's enough for the first half. We'll take it at 0-0. Here's Tejeda. Tejeda towards Diaz. Diaz turns out towards the left wing. Referee looks at his watch and decides that is it for the first half in Recife. Not too many chances in this game, but a fabulous one for Dimitris Salpingidis. Very, very close to half-time. Excellent ball from Holovas from the left-hand side. Salpingidis did everything right, put his foot on the ball with the volley. It was heading to the far corner, and Keylor Navas somehow stuck a right leg out and blocked it. Few jeers and whistles at half-time, Jason. I think that's partly because we've seen such fabulous football at this World Cup. We weren't necessarily expecting that today. It hasn't been that, but it's still intriguing.
It is very intriguing, and Greece give you certain tactical problems. They've given Costa Rica a problem here. They play in waves. There'll be 2 or 3 minutes where they don't even think about going forward. When they go forward, they commit men forward. They've had the best chance of the half. They won't be bothered about the boos. They'll come out and do the exact same thing if they can. And if they get another chance like they had for Salpingidis, they want to make sure they go ahead.
Half-time in Recife, Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. I thought you were about to try and cue into sort of, here's the highlights from the first 45 minutes, and I was thinking, goodness me, they're going to be doing well to get a bit of commentary highlights out of that, because there wasn't too much. Jason Roberts and I have been watching the action so far. I mean, Jason, the one highlight, the Keylor Navas save, Salpingidis, we were just watching the replay again and again. First of all, an absolutely superb cross from Holovas, the left back. Salpingidis does absolutely everything right, sticks his right foot on the ball, it's heading towards the far corner, and Navas somehow gets his leg on it. That's the one real thrilling moment of that first half.
Yeah, but that ball, I mean, the ball from Holovas is just absolutely incredible. It's undefendable. It's from really deep. He just really wraps his foot round it, and Salpingidis gets a touch on it. Fantastic. A good contact, a good clean contact with the biggest side of your foot with an instep. He hits it, keeps his head down, but Navas' positioning before the ball comes in helps him to make that save.
Should say the other thing which generated a lot of interest in the first half, I was talking about Joel Campbell, the Costa Rican striker, Arsenal player who bought those 100 packets of stickers and didn't manage to get one of himself. And I've had loads and loads of tweets since then. People showing me pictures of Joel Campbell stuck in. I've got loads of swaps. I've got him 5 times.
Well, we're going to have to put them together, see if we can get some swaps for him if he hasn't got any yet.
And tell me honestly, as a player, have you ever bought the stickers, try and get one of yourself?
I'm not sure that I ever have, but I do have a fair collection of ones that have been sent to me by family members, etc.
There we go.
But you always look weird in them. You never look like how you look. You always look a little bit strange. They always catch you at the wrong moment, or maybe it's just my face.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. The Greek players are in the tunnel, just waiting to see whether either manager has made any changes. Greece are on their way out, playing for a place, let's remind you, in the quarter-finals of the World Cup. Neither country's ever achieved that before, so whoever does it is going to be creating footballing history for their country tonight. Costa Rica on their way out too, and the winners of this will play Holland in Salvador on Saturday for a place in the semi-finals of the World Cup. Tomorrow's game's on 5 Live. Let's just remind you of those as well. France-Nigeria kicks off at 5 o'clock UK time. Germany-Algeria kicks off at 9 o'clock. Very quickly, Jason, I know you're going to be talking about these games a little bit because we're going through to 11:30 tonight UK time on 5 Live. France have looked very, very good. You saw Nigeria against Argentina, and you think Nigeria might cause them a few problems?
I think they will. Going forward, they're very, very strong. Emenike is one of the strongest number 9s I've seen in a long time. He created a fantastic goal for Odemwingie where he's running through centre-halves, so they're going to have to physically deal with him. And Musa up front is a very, very quick player, so they're going to have to get a handle on that. Benzema, I think, has been the best number 9 in the tournament so far, so it's going to be an intriguing game, but they have to make sure defensively they do their job, France.
Right, let's start the second half with this quote then, one of my favourite from the World Cup. Jorge Luis Pinto, the 61-year-old Colombian who manages Costa Rica, ahead of the start of this World Cup, talking about the tough draw that Costa Rica had. He said, the braver the bull, the better the bullfight. How brave are Costa Rica going to be in this second half? Because for the first time in this World Cup they've started as favourites, and Greece have had the best chance of the game so far. Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. No changes made by either manager at half-time. Keylor Navas, that brilliant save in the first half for Costa Rica in goal. Duarte, Gonzalez and Umania are the centre-backs. Gamboa and Diaz, the wing-backs for Costa Rica. Borges and Tejeda, the two central midfielders. Bolaños on the left, Brian Ruiz supports from the right, and Joel Campbell is playing through the middle. Greece have Karnezis in goal, back four of Torosidis, Manolas, Papastathopoulos and Holovas, who put in that wonderful cross on the left for the Salpingidis chance. Then you've got Karagounis, Maniatis and Samaris as a sort of central midfield three. Salpingidis on the ball here on the right-hand side, Christodolopoulos on the left, and Georgios Samaras is in the middle, and at the moment he's trying to get on the end of the Salpingidis cross. 40 seconds played in the second half. Greece attacking from left to right as we look at it from a very elevated position in this red-seated, steeply sided arena. Greece all in blue with white trim, Costa Rica are in white with a little red swish across the front of their shirts, and Costa Rica have conceded a free kick, actually just as they did at the very beginning of the first half, in almost exactly the same position to give Greece a good chance to get a decent ball in the box.
And you thought they would have learned. Duarte especially, he was the one who gave it the free kick away. Just a little petulant pullback of the shirt, and this is exactly what Greece want. They want the little details, they want the free kicks, they want the little things in and around the box, because this is what they're very good at. So Costa Rica have to make sure they keep a very high line here and be brave and make sure they get the first contact on this cross.
Keep saying it, if Greece get 1-0 in front, they are going to be very, very hard to beat. They do love a 1-0 win. It was precisely how they won Euro 2004. Holovas with the free kick. There's the header straight at the keeper, Navas. It was Samaras with the header, and either side of Navas, and that would have been a much, much trickier save.
Samaras' only issue here, he makes a good run, he gets in front of the defender. The only issue is not as much whip and pace on the ball as he would like. He tries to create that by really sticking his head on it, but he's not able to get enough power on it all direction. But those are the little things, and when you're playing for a side like this, and I've played for sides who set out with this game plan to frustrate the opposition, to keep in your holes, to make sure you're attacking waves, you won't be bothered by what the crowd are saying, you won't be bothered by the boos. You keep to the game plan, you keep trying to get the little details, you keep trying to get the set pieces, and in the end you hope that you'll get the opportunity to go 1-0 up.
Tejeda, strong challenge here on Karagounis, and Karagounis has gone rolling around in agony. Tejeda is booked early in the second half. We'll need to have another look at it. It's one of those, Jason, we were talking about this actually in the build-up to this game, that quite a lot of strong challenges in this World Cup where the ball is won and possibly a bit of man is caught as well, the referees seem to go straight for the card.
They do, and it's one of those ones where, another time it would have been a really good challenge. What he's done, he's got the ball, but in the midst of doing that, he's gone through on a man. And I think there needs to be, I'm sure there is a directive from the referee's perspective in terms of the ferocity you go into the challenge, but Tejeda's got the ball there and followed through and took the man, but I don't see how he could have done it any different. So I think it's certainly free kick, maybe. Yellow card, harsh.
Yeah, I think so. Georgios Karagounis also obviously been playing in the Premier League recently. He's picked himself up, he's okay. It's a fairly dramatic tumble he took. He was definitely caught. Jason's right, the free kick was right. Tejeda now has just obviously got to be a little bit careful. He's on the yellow card, but possibly a little bit unlucky to be walking that tightrope. Holovas, ball in from the left, is blocked and goes behind for a Greece corner early in the second half. 3.5 minutes in, Costa Rica 0, Greece 0. Hasn't been the best so far, but if you are thinking of leaving us, obviously I'd say don't, because one of the things I would say, lot of late drama at this World Cup. We saw it today with Holland, 2 goals in the 88th and the 94th minute. If this goes all the way, you're heading into extra time and possibly the drama of penalties once more. It's 0-0, Costa Rica, Greece in Recife, and Greece have themselves a corner, which Karagounis is waiting for the whistle to take. Swings it in with his right foot to the near post, and it's headed high and wide by Papastathopoulos, and it is behind for a Costa Rica goal kick.
Costa Rica need to be a little bit careful about the way that they mark. 2 or 3 times the referees had to stop the game and had a word with the Greek players, because when they're defending, they're right up against you, they're virtually in your shirt. Costa Rica, they're defending 2 or 3 yards off, and if you're 2 or 3 yards off and the likes of Samras get the run on you, it's going to be very, very hard to stop him.
Jason Roberts with us on BBC Radio 5 Live. Home of Brazil 2014 on the radio. Watching the last 16 game here between Costa Rica and Greece. It's 0-0 on air till 11:30 UK time. You want to have your say on World Cup matters this evening? Hashtag BBC World Cup is the way to get in touch. Let me also direct you towards the 5 Live website. bbc.co.uk/5 Live for the Copper Uppy Challenge, which I was telling Jason about a little bit earlier on today. Keepy-ups with a tennis ball. Tim Henman has the record so far, Jason, with 92. Andy Murray, Rafa Nadal, Alan Shearer and Clarence Seedorf have all had a go. How many do you reckon you could do with a tennis ball?
How many I reckon I could do?
Yeah.
Well, I reckon I could do a lot. I said this morning, if I'd have got 200, I'd be disappointed.
Whoa.
After 4 or 5 goals.
Tim Henman, 92, impressive?
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed with that.
Wimbledon's back on tomorrow. Andy Murray's in last 16 action. He's playing Kevin Anderson. If you're going to do the Copper Uppy Challenge, send us a video of you doing it to @BBC5 Live. It's the number 5 there on Twitter. That's our Twitter handle. So if you think you can beat Henman's 92, good luck to you.
I'm going to give it a go on the beach tomorrow.
Excellent. A few jeers and whistles again in the stadium in Recife, probably from the neutrals. Greece have possession of the ball, slowing things down. Karnesis, the goalkeeper, floats a lovely pass out to Torosidis. Excellent right back for Greece. Plays his club football for Roma. Can't get in the side there because there's a certain fella called Maicon who tends to get picked ahead of him. But he's been a regular for Greece at the last 4 tournaments. Scored the winner against Nigeria in the World Cup 4 years ago. And as I talk him up, terrible first touch, loses the ball, and Bolaños tackles him. Always the way.
It's always the way, especially when you're involved, ABB.
0-0. Early stages of the second half. Tejeda to Borges for Costa Rica. You can sense the nerves out there as well. You can sense what these players are playing for. Possibly that's why it hasn't been the best either. Now Campbell on the spin. Joel Campbell, defender Manolas, bounces off him, tries to foul him and falls over. Here's Bolaños on the left-hand side. Ball to the edge of the area. Ruiz with a shot and into the bottom corner. And Costa Rica's captain, Brian Ruiz, has just helped his country take a massive step towards the quarter-finals of the World Cup. And it was such a sweet, gentle pass into the bottom corner of the net. It makes it Costa Rica 1, Greece 0.
Karnesis will want to look at this again because he's taken a step to his right. As he does it, the ball comes across to Ruiz on the edge of the box, and he side foots this in on the floor. It's not moving very quickly. I think he's unsighted. I think the defender's standing in front of him. He can't see it, but the ball is rolled from the edge of the box, and he's rooted to the spot. Someone stood right in front of him. He'll be disappointed in his positioning. It looks bad as you watch it. The ball rolls into the side net and he doesn't even move. He's rooted to the spot. And now Greece have a decision to make.
Brian Ruiz's second goal at this World Cup, and Jason Roberts is absolutely right. That was like watching a golfer roll a putt towards the hole to win a major. It was just passed into the bottom corner. It was blindingly accurate. I mean, it just kisses almost the inside of the post, but the pace it was going, you just thought, well, Karnesis will get there.
Credit to Ruiz, because he's coming in. He hasn't opened his body out. He's swung across it and just caught it into the corner, passed it into the net with virtually no power, And the accuracy was fantastic. Credit to him.
Here they come again. Brian Ruiz with a cross on the right-hand side, and Torresidis has to get in there and head away. Bolaños claims that Torresidis handled that. Looked like a header away to me, but Costa Rica going for the kill right after taking the lead. 8 minutes into the second half. And in terms of the neutral listening to this game and watching this game, that is the team that you wanted to get ahead. Greece have got to come out now. They've got to try and do something special. And occasionally, when they've been required to do that, as they were in the last game against the Ivory Coast, once the Ivory Coast got their equaliser, they can do it. They've got to do it now. They've given the ball away. Here's Bolaños. Costa Rica 1, Greece 0. Borges, little 1-2 with Bolaños with a left-footed drive. Torresidis is there again for Greece. He gets his body in the way, he blocks, and Greece should clear down the right. Bolaños slides in. Beaten to the ball here by Maniatis. Floats the pass into the middle of the pitch. Karagounis nods it down to Salpingidis. Costa Rica leading by the goal to 0. Passed into the far corner by Brian Ruiz, his second goal of this World Cup, and he and his country and his teammates have been the surprise package of Brazil 2014. And as things stand, they are heading towards a quarter-final against Holland.
And the game has changed totally. As soon as that goal comes in, Greece are now streaming forward, closing everybody down all over the pitch, leaving gaps in behind. This game has started now. Greece have made the decision. They're going to come out of their holes. They're going to start to try to make this game a forward-thinking game.
Now then, that might actually have been a handball by Torresidis. We've just seen 2 slow-motion replays. That was straight after Costa Rica went 1-0 up. There was a ball played by Brian Ruiz to the far post. To the naked eye, it looked like Torresidis got there, but to get there, he had to stretch. He had both arms out. It looks like the ball's actually missed his head and hit his left hand.
He's a very, very lucky boy, because you watch that again and it was... You can't say if it's on purpose or it's an accident, but it's hit his hand, there's no doubt about that, and stopped it going across to Bolaños. So, like I said, Greece have a decision to make. They've made the decision. They're going to stream forward. They're going to try to make this a game about attacking now.
Right, someone's getting booked on the bench here. Greece had a free kick. Costa Rica were wasting time. I've got no idea who that yellow card's gone to. We'll have to bring up our little tactical screen to see who's been booked. But one of the Costa Rican substitutes has been booked here for time wasting early in the second half. And Greece are getting ready to make a change. All happening then on BBC Radio 5 Live. I told them, didn't I, Jason, not to change the dial. As soon as you change the dial, something happens.
You were right, stick with us. You never know what's going to happen.
Oscar Granados, who's yet to play at this World Cup. That's a little sort of statistical quirk for you. Yet to get on the pitch at this World Cup, but has picked up a booking. Oscar Granados, number 13, defensive midfielder. Probably a tough guy, actually, as defensive midfielder. Thinks he needs a booking. So he's got himself a yellow card.
At least he can say he's participated now.
Yeah, exactly. Costa Rica 1, Greece 0, and the game's burst into life, and the goal was always going to do that. So as it stands, Costa Rica going through to play Holland in the quarter-finals in Salvador on Saturday, and Kostas Mitroglou is waiting to come on for Greece. So I think plenty of people listening back home will know him. 23 goals in 23 games at the start of the season for Olympiacos, joined Fulham for £12 million, joined with an injury, struggled to get fit, didn't score, only made 3 appearances, has a good goal scoring record for his country as well, but started in their second game here and got injured, and here comes the change. Andreas Samaris, midfielder, is going to come off, and Mitroglou's going to come on.
Mitroglou gives you a total different option, big, strong, powerful. Now we've spoken about decisions. Now Santos has a decision. Does Mitroglou go up front with Samaras, or does Samaras find himself out on the left? These are 2 big, powerful men who want to run in behind. They're powerful from crosses, powerful from set pieces. So let's see how proactive Greece are going to be going forward.
Just over half an hour to play in Recife. At the moment, Greece are heading out of the World Cup, their first appearance in the last 16. The Costa Rican improbable dream continues. Let's not forget, they started this World Cup coming here without Brian Oviedo, one of their best players, without their top scorer Alvaro Saborio, their top scorer in qualifying. Drawn in a group with Italy, Uruguay and England. Beat Uruguay and Italy in the first 2 games, drew 0-0 with England, and here they are in the last 16, and they lead by a goal to 0, and still the only goal they've conceded so far is the penalty, the Edinson Cavani penalty, against Uruguay in the very first game. They are having a quite incredible World Cup. 13 minutes played then in the second half. Can they hang on to the lead? Can they stretch the lead? And what have Greece got to try and test them. Torosidis on the right-hand side for Greece, up level with the edge of the Costa Rican penalty area. Cross is blocked and the ball goes out for a Greece throw on the right-hand side. Torosidis takes that quickly to Salpingidis, back to Torosidis, crosses, not a good one, straight over the bar and behind for a goal kick.
You can see what they want to do. That's the first time we've got 3 Greek players in the box looking for this cross. You got the 2 big guys, Samaras and Mitroglou. You know exactly what Santos wants them to do. He wants them to be physical. He wants to get the ball into the box. But what I like about it is made the change early. Didn't wait on ceremony. Didn't give it 5 minutes. Didn't give it 10 minutes. Made the change straight away. Now you look at a 4-4-2 side looking to put the balls into the channels for 2 big, powerful strikers.
As Jorge Luis Pinto, the Costa Rican manager, said, we said it just before the second half, the braver the bull, the better the bullfight. And it's Costa Rica who are on top, and they've taken the bull by the horns in this second half, and I really like the way they went for that second goal straight after they got the first. Just try and kill the game dead. Couldn't quite do it, but possibly had a good shout for a penalty. Torosidis handling in the area, and the Keylor Navas save at the end of the first half becomes ever more important as well, if you just think that Greece have managed to get themselves ahead in the game. Half an hour remaining here in Recife. Jason Roberts with us on BBC Radio 5 Live. Costa Rica leading Greece by the goal to 0. Jason's with us till 11:30 UK time tonight. Hashtag BBC World Cup to have your say on 5 Live. Long ball forward towards Samaras. He applauds. It was nowhere near him really, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. Jason.
And it happens time after time after time at every level. You score a goal and you drop 5 yards deeper. It's just a mental thing. And you when you're out there, you're asking the question, why are we dropping? Why are we dropping? But it's just a mental thing. You've got something to protect. You're 1-0 up. Suddenly Costa Rica aren't closing down. Suddenly they're not showing the intensity going forward. They need to rectify that, because Greece have said, we're going to come after you. We're going to put Mitroglou on, and we're going to put long balls in and put balls into the box. So they don't want to concede too much ground. They need to make sure they keep positive like they've approached this game so far.
Into the last half hour, 53rd minute goal so far from Brian Ruiz, his second of this World Cup. Got the header against Italy. Separates the 2 teams. What can Greece summon in response? Mitroglou is on, and this ball is aimed at him through the middle. He wins the flick on. The flag was up anyway for offside. Salpingidis wasn't going to get there, and Navas just lets the ball run past him, and he is going to run the clock down. The referee, Benjamin Williams, having none of that, and you heard the sharp shrill 3 peeps on the whistle, and Navas gives it the old innocent. What? Mate, what? Hey?
That's another thing you do. As soon as you go 1-0 up, suddenly it takes so much longer to get the ball. You've got that slow, laboured jog. But that's how you close out football matches, and that's what Costa Rica will be looking to do from now on in.
It's one of the things Costa Rica actually really impressed me in the first game against Uruguay, where they got themselves 2-1 ahead. They actually won the game 3-1. But they shut the game down so well. At 2-1, you thought they might get nervy against Uruguay, and they were absolutely brilliant at running the game down. Torosidis has gone down here. It was a long ball played towards Bolaños. Bolaños and Torosidis jumped together. Just going to have another look at it on our monitor here. Bolaños has sort of steadied himself and stepped into him. He's barely caught Torosidis there, and Torosidis has gone down like a ton of bricks. Nah,
he's just being strong. We're just talking about closing the game out. You work on that. I mean, we're not talking about cheating. We're not talking about kicking people or playing in an unsportsmanlike manner. What we're talking about is the little things you do to gain the odd second, gain the odd 2 or 3 seconds. You practice that on the training ground. Make sure you're all on the same page. When we get ahead, this is what we're going to do. What is not part of that plan is dropping 5 yards deeper, and that's exactly what Costa Rica have done.
Well, they're still leading Greece by the goal to 0, and they're trying to come on the break down the left-hand side, but the pass is overhit, way overhit, and it goes out for a throw into Greece on the right. And they want to hurry things up. 2 balls on the pitch, so we're going to have to do something about that. It has been done by Karnesis, the Greek goalkeeper, all in yellow. Just hoofed the spare one off the pitch, and play continues. Here's Holovas, the left back, full of energy down the left. Goes the ball into central midfield. Christodolopoulos back to Maniatis. Maniatis floats the ball out. Awkward one for Torosidis to take. Tries to nod it infield. Samaras beaten to it by Bolaños. Bolaños picks himself up after the sliding challenge. Borges and Manolas go for the same ball. Last touch came off the Greek player, and the ball goes out for a throw. Now then, what's the referee going to say here to Maniatis? Maniatis obviously not happy that the decision went against Greece, and I think the referee's probably saying, right, that's it, any more back chat and you're getting booked. So throwing goes Costa Rica's way. 18 minutes played in the second half. As it stands, Costa Rica heading through to the quarter-finals of the World Cup for the first time in their history, in their 4th World Cup. Samaras goes sliding in on Navas. Navas cleared the ball just in time. It's back in Greek possession, inside their half. Papastathopoulos, the centre-back, out wide to Christodoulos. It would be those two, wouldn't it? Passing it to each other, making it hard for us commentators. Ball from Holovas on the left-hand side. Clears Samaras, headed away by Junior Diaz. And now here's Torosidis for Greece, the right-back. Back to Maniatis. Maniatis with a lofted ball down the right. Diaz just falls over, and the free kick he's won for the challenge by Salpingidis. Good example, actually, Jason, of not closing the game down the other day, and Brad Friedel was apoplectic about it, was the USA. It didn't make any difference, they went through to the last 16, but that goal they conceded from the Ronaldo cross against Portugal, where you could pick on 2 or 3 things. I think it was DeAndre Yedlin who lost the ball down by the corner flag. Bradley then lost it in midfield and didn't commit a foul. Defenders didn't get close. It's that kind of thing you're talking about, isn't it?
Absolutely, those are the details. The ball comes through in the middle of the park with your Bradley, and you think, I could bring it down and maybe play an incisive pass, or I can hook it round the corner into the corner and maybe give a throw on away. And it's not a choice, because you've worked for so long in the game to get ahead. You can't give it up with just a bad decision when you're in possession of the ball.
25 minutes remaining in the second half. Costa Rica leading Greece by the goal to 0. Brian Ruiz's strike 8 minutes into this second half. A gentle pass, really. I mean, it was sweetly struck. It was off the left instep. It was a full 25 yards out, and the ball just rolled from Greece's point of view, agonisingly. From Costa Rica's point of view, sweetly, delicately into the corner of the net. That's the difference between the two teams. Costa Rica going to make a change. This is the change they always make at about this stage in the game, actually. Jose Cubero of Herediano plays his club football in Costa Rica. He's a central midfielder, and he comes on for Tejeda. Now, Tejeda's 22, Jason. He is on the yellow card, so I wonder whether that's part of their thinking. But you'd have thought he'd have the energy to complete the game. He's important for them, isn't he?
But like you said, they always make the same change, and I wonder why. I wonder if he says to him, listen, you've got this time to run around, put as much pressure as you can, try and work hard, get in people's faces, because I'll take you off. And I think in all the games he's done that, even though Tejeda, in my opinion, has been one of the best players on the pitch.
Holovas, left-hand side, I think was caught there as he darted infield. And now the card's going to come out for Duarte. It's a red card, it's a second yellow. And that changes everything here in Recife. Oscar Duarte definitely clipped Holovas. He was already on the yellow from the first half, and Costa Rica now are going to have to defend this lead against Greece with 25 minutes to play, down to 10 men.
We spoke about the little things that you do. Duarte, he's not thinking about the challenge that he's making. He's showing him inside into Costa Rican strength. They've got 2 midfielders in there. They've got the free centre halves. He's showing him into a position where they want him, and he makes a challenge that he doesn't need to. It's an honest challenge. He's trying to get a touch on the ball. When you're on a yellow card at this stage of the game, you stay on your feet, and you can see he looks absolutely distraught as he comes off the pitch.
World Cup of real highs and lows for him so far. Scored the second goal against Uruguay. Remember his celebrations after that, just incredulity on his face, almost in tears. Tears of a different kind at the moment. He heads down the tunnel. Has he cost Costa Rica a place in the quarterfinals? Who knows? Duarte off. Costa Rica down to 10 men. Free kick in, Samaras heads it wide for Greece, and it remains Costa Rica 1, Greece 0. The first booking, Jason, I remember it, was the ball lobbed over him. He got out of position and he felt he had to take one for the team. He pulled Christodoulos back. The second one, as you say, didn't need to make that challenge.
Exactly, we spoke about it. I said at the time, that's what we call a tactical foul. But when you do those, you've got to know, you've got to be tactical about it. You've got to know you're on a yellow card. And he makes this challenge without thinking. He's not doing it on purpose. He's genuinely trying to get on the ball, but it's cost his team. Now Costa Rica have to make an adjustment. They need to do something different now, because there's no doubt Greece are going to commit even more men forward. So they have to be careful about how they approach the rest of this game.
Theophanis Gekas, striker, waiting to come on for Greece. He's been around the block a bit. Joel Campbell's been caught on the back of the head. Costa Rica have got a free kick midway inside the Greece half. Costa Rica down to 10 men. Ironically here, Jason, they're going to have to out-Greece Greece. They've got the 1-0 lead, and they're going to have to do a Greece to beat Greece.
But Santos, what I really like about this manager, he's very, very proactive in what he does. He doesn't mess about. I mean, as soon as he saw that sending off, he looks like he's going to make a change, put another forward man on. As soon as the goal went in, he put Mitroglou on. He's not waiting about. He's not waiting for 5-10 minutes. He's doing it straight away. I think that's excellent managerial.
So here comes the change. And who's coming off? Salpingidis. So he starts wide right. He is effectively a striker for Greece, or an attacking player. And Gekas comes on, so they've got Mitroglou on, they've still got Samaras on, and they've got Gekas on. He was the one who scored a hatful of goals in qualifying for the last World Cup, and he was ahead of the likes of Rooney and Costa and those kind of players. Top scorer in Europe in qualifying for the World Cup 4 years ago. Greece need a goal from him now. Joel Campbell with the free kick for Costa Rica, curled into the back post, too close to Karnezis. And so Greece have possession of the ball. Just over 20 minutes to play. Costa Rica 1, Greece 0, but if you have just tuned in, additional drama because Oscar Duarte, one of Costa Rica's 3 centre-backs, has been sent off for a second yellow card. Yellow card in the first half, and caught Holovas with a challenge, and here is Holovas with his cross from the left-hand side. Christodoulos with a header, couldn't get any power on it, and the ball bounces tamely behind for a Costa Rican goal kick.
Duarte gets sent off, and where's the space? It's in wide areas, and Greece know that. So what are they going to do? They're going to commit their fullbacks forward. They're going to put crosses in like they've just done. Costa Rica are going to have to be diligent about making sure they get the first contact, and if they don't get the first contact, it's make sure they get the second contact. It's going to be hard because now you've got some really big men, some really big Greece players making their way into the box now.
Yeah, this is where Jorge Luis Pinto really earns his corn, and he is renowned for drilling and drilling and drilling his teams and just making them so tactically strong, and really doesn't like them to sort of deviate from the plan. He says what goes, and Brian Ruiz is getting booked here for a challenge just inside the Costa Rican half. And sure, I mean, clearly he will have practiced this. If we go to 10 men, this is what we're going to do, and that's exactly what they've got to do. They lead Greece by a goal to 0, just over 20 minutes to play, a place in the World Cup quarter-finals at stake here in Brazil, and a game against Holland. If you haven't heard, Holland through to the quarterfinals, beat Mexico 2-1. They were 1-0 down in the 88th minute. Schneider got them back level, and then Huntelaar with a 94th minute penalty won by Arjen Robben. Samaras spots Holovas in space on the left, low ball into the near post. Gonzalez gets in the way for Costa Rica. Desperate defending and good defending. Back to Samaras on the left-hand side. Can Greece find this goal? Samaras, good run into the edge of the area. A couple of white shirts come to close him down. Samaras then floats the ball towards the far post. Keeper Navas gets there somehow, has 2 flaps at it. Torosidis was there, couldn't force the ball over the line. Costa Rica survived. And now Campbell comes for them on the break, but he's tackled by Manolas.
Fantastic goalkeeper from Navas, and that's what you want when you do these drills time after time after time in training. You want your goalkeeper to be brave, to come out and claim the ball when a ball comes in like that on the edge of the 6-yard box. Excellent defending, an excellent goalkeeper from Navas.
Costa Rica playing with 10 men into the last 20 minutes, leading Greece by the goal to 0. BBC Radio 5 Live. Torosidis for Greece, the right back, with his back to goal, slightly clipped by Bolaños, goes down and wins the free kick. Fernando Santos, the Greek boss, just comes out and makes sure his centre-backs, Manolas, is still concentrating. Got to keep an eye on Joel Campbell. Costa Rica will be dangerous on the break, but you'd expect, with the way the game stands and the fact that Costa Rica are down to 10, lots of Greek possession and pressure in the last 20 minutes. Here's Bolaños. Bolaños plays through the middle of the field. Ruiz, that was a cheeky one there, naughty one from Holovas. In fact, there's 2 Costa Rican players down who've been caught. Cubero's the other one. Campbell's down now. 3 Costa Rican players lying on the floor, and I think Manolas is going to get booked for the 3rd foul. That one on Joel Campbell. I think that's probably right. He came through the back of him there, Jason.
That is a tough challenge. I've been on the end of them a few times. You know it's coming. You know exactly what he's going to do. He absolutely steamrolls Campbell there. He knows exactly what he's doing. It's a yellow card, but I tell you what, I've seen reds given for them. I think that's a really naughty challenge, a really strong challenge. The Greek players are frustrated now. He's absolutely gone right the way through him. Yes, they're yellow cards, but, you know, maybe a bit of the strikers' union there. I don't think you get a free one of those.
Well, in nowadays game, you do have to be a bit careful. Campbell put his body in the way before the ball was coming, and Manolas had just committed himself from miles out. You could see a couple of seconds before exactly what he was going to do. With straight through the
with full speed, sliding straight through the back of him. He's not broke his stride at all. He's absolutely pelted as fast as he could into him. It was a tough challenge.
I've got a feeling, just looking at the referee here, dealing with a few issues, having booked Manolas, this might get a little testy in the last 15 minutes between the players. 18 minutes actually remaining. BBC Radio 5 Live, and more drama coming across the airwaves at the moment. Costa Rica have a foot in the quarter-finals to face Holland. They lead Greece by the goal to 0. Brian Ruiz scored it, passing the ball with his left foot into the bottom corner early in this second half, but they're down to 10 men. Oscar Duarte has been sent off. They have a set piece here, right in the middle of the Greece half. If they get a second goal, I'd back them every day of the week to get home. Bolaños curls the free kick in towards the far post, headed away by Manolas, who conceded that free kick and got booked for the challenge on Campbell. Bolaños wins it back. Campbell has handballed that as he tried to get away down the right-hand side. And so it's a free kick to Greece in their left-back position, just over 15 minutes remaining.
And even there, when Costa Rica had an opportunity to break, there were still Greek players streaming forward, hoping on the transition they could get an opportunity. They put their flag down. They want this goal. They want to put players forward. They want to put the ball forward quickly. And they want to get as tight to the Costa Rican players as possible and be physical with them.
Samaras on the turn up to the edge of the Costa Rican area, plays it out wide to Holobas, crossing at the near post, and Gekas just stabs it wide. He was in front of the near post, so it was really difficult for him to try and direct that on goal. It almost needed to go between his legs, the little sort of David Villa flick that we saw him score against Australia with, and actually the ball just bobbled up and hit his knee.
Yeah, but what Gekas didn't do is anticipate the ball coming to him. When you make that run past the first post, you're waiting for it to come. You need to anticipate it's going to come to. He didn't. If he did, he would have had it in a really good position to maybe set somebody up. But they're going almost free up front now, and they're putting the ball forward as much as they can.
Gekas is one of these hugely experienced Greek internationals. Two of them actually. It's only Karagounis and Katsaranis who are veterans of the Euro 2004 squad, but they remind me, Greece, of a sort of an aging rock band. Like, one more gig, boys, come on, let's go, we can do it one more time, let's do it for the fans.
And they look that way as well, with the beards and the long hair,
the stubble, grey flecked hair as well. But at the moment they are going out of the World Cup. They need to find something special. Jason Roberts watching with us on BBC Radio 5 Live. Costa Rica leading through the Brian Ruiz goal. Cubero's been caught on the halfway line by Karagounis. Referee plays advantage. Costa Rica waiting to make a change. Johnny Acosta is getting ready to come on. Crossing from the right-hand side, deep towards Bolaños, was lining himself up for the acrobatic volley. Torresidis heads it away. A lot of space here for Christodoulos to charge into. Down the right, Diaz comes to meet him. Ball played into the centre. Gonzalez read it well and side foots it away and out for a throw. And here comes that Costa Rican change. Christian Gamboa, the right wing-back, is coming off, and Johnny Acosta, who normally plays as centre-back, is coming on for his first appearance of this World Cup. So pressure moment for him.
It seemed like the right move as well. Gamboa's a quick play, wants to put Costa into the box. Coming on, you've got a big centre-half who's going to win those challenges against the likes of Samaras, etc. They're going to need to, because even then when Greece broke, there was an overload. And Costa Rica need to be careful about the way they break forward.
The ill feeling continues here as well. Christian Gamboa, as all players do, when they're taken off and they're leading, taking an age to get off the field. Georgios Samaras came and just gave him the little shove in the back, the hurry up. Gamboa didn't like it, and eventually the referee got involved and made sure he got quickly off the pitch. Pinto is still hollering instructions here to Johnny Acosta. So let's just see what Costa Rica are going to do at the back. Acosta has gone in that right-back position. Gonzalez and Umania, the centre-backs. Don't forget they're playing with 10 men. Oscar Duarte sent off, and Diaz at left-back. So it's a sort of 4-4-1 for Costa Rica. Poor pass from Maniatis, straight out of play. Throw into Costa Rica, deep in their left-back position, and we're into the last 15 minutes of the game. Coming your way tomorrow from the World Cup on 5 Live. France-Nigeria kicks off 5 o'clock UK time, and Germany-Algeria is 9 o'clock UK time. Maniatis is now coming off for Greece, and Kostas Katsaranis, who was suspended for Greece's last game after the sending off against Japan. He is on. Veteran of Euro 2004, that famous moment in Greece's footballing history. Started all but one of the games there. Comes on with Karagounis in the centre of midfield. Can they do it one last time for Greece? Can they spring a surprise? Can they get back in this game? And can they force us into extra time? 13 minutes remaining in Recife. Costa Rica, since scoring the goal, pretty comfortable. Samaras has had a couple of runs at their back four. Played the ball wide left. Most danger actually has come from Holobas, and his crosses from the left-hand side. Very nearly created a goal in the first half. It was a brilliant save by Keylor Navas, which could turn out to be as important as the goal from Brian Ruiz. Here come Greece again, and Katsaranis in his bright yellow boots, looking for the diagonal ball towards Mitroglou. Brian Ruiz happy to thwack it anywhere with his left-footed clearance. Papastathopoulos plays it wide left to Holovas. Holovas back into midfield to Katsaranis. Time running out for Greece, 12 minutes remaining. Costa Rica leading by the goal to nil. Karagounis on the charge, poor foul on him. Jose Cubero's brought him down in a really dangerous position. Central free kick, 25 yards out. Karagounis looks like he fancies it himself.
Really poor challenge from Cubero there. I mean, tactically, Costa Rica have got Greece exactly where they want them. They're going side to side across the 18-yard box. They're not hurting them. They're filtering across. They're doing all the work you have to do. Now you've given a free kick away in what is a shooting position right in the centre of the goal.
Shambles, really, from Cubero.
It is. He knows better than that.
Hasn't helped his team at all. Vanishing spray is out. And that is the most dramatic, effusive spray of the line I've ever seen. He's almost gone all the way across the front of the area there, the referee. Enjoyed that. It's done with a real twirl and then almost like a cowboy in a western, spins the can and puts it back in the holster. Big moment in the game. Free kick for Greece. Costa Rica leading by the goal to nil. Karagounis actually moved the ball a yard further back and the referee's made him put it forward again. Here comes Karagounis with the free. Oh, it's terrible. Over the wall, way over the bar and behind for a goal kick. I was giving that the big build-up. It didn't happen.
Well, you know why he was trying to move it back, don't you? Because he knew he was going to hit it that high. It was way over the bar, and he's got quality to do better than that. All the other players are looking at him and saying, you know, hit the wall, hit the target, because at least then you give us something to attack. Poor free kick there.
Just looking at Katsaranis, one of the most experienced members of this squad, and he's screaming at every single player. And I'm sure he's saying to them, come on, 10 minutes plus a bit of added time, we've got out of tighter positions than this, we can do it. They got the goal, the late goal against the Ivory Coast in the last group game, which they needed to get them to this stage. And now they need another goal. They trail Costa Rica by the goal to nil. At the moment, Brian Ruiz is putting Costa Rica into the quarterfinals of the World Cup for the first time in their history, and that is going to spark some party back home. Tiny country, population of just 4.5 million people, qualified in second place behind the USA in their final group, headed away by Amanya here. Costa Rica under a little bit of pressure. Samaras, little drag back from Samaras, eventually outnumbered, but he's fouled apparently, and Costa Rica have conceded another free kick. I'd say this one's a little bit further out, maybe 28, 29 yards out and slightly on the angle. Was that a foul, Jason?
I'm not sure it is, but Samaras is a big man. He stands up to the challenge, sort of holds his arms up as if to say this is a foul. He didn't go down. If you don't want players to go down, maybe, you know, the rest made the right decision there. It was a strong challenge, but again, Costa Rica giving away free kicks in and around their box.
Jose Holovas has put in some fantastic crosses in this game, and he's standing over this free kick. Keylor Navas, pretty confident he's not going to shoot. Just puts one man, Joel Campbell, in the wall. Costa Rica leading Greece by the goal to nil. Are Greece going to do it again? Are they going to pull a rabbit out of the hat? Let's see. Holovas floats the free kick into the area. Manolas with a header. Didn't get the proper connection on it. Floats wide, behind for a goal kick.
The Greek players are complaining. They're complaining to the referee. They're not quite sure what the free kick was given for, but Samaras wants to get the ball and help the keeper place it. But Costa Rica again doing what they need to do. They took a high line. They were brave with their line. And now they just need to get a little bit of respite from the pressure they've got. They've not been out of their half for the last 10 minutes. You just need the odd attack, even just to run the ball into the corner. Get Joel Campbell bending his runs into the corner just to relieve the pressure just for a couple of minutes.
Costa Rica are less than 10 minutes away from a place in the quarterfinals of the World Cup. Jorge Luis Pinto will not want his players thinking about that, but how can they not? What an achievement that would be. Started this World Cup in a group with Uruguay, Italy and England. So far, they've beaten Uruguay and Italy, drawn with England. They're beating Greece. They've only conceded one goal so far. Tactically, they've been impressive. They've been brilliant. But they've still got to hold out here. They're down to 10 men. Long ball forward from Torresini. It's brought down by Gekas. When Gekas can't control it, it runs away from him. And it's behind for a goal kick. Heart in mouths moment for Costa Rica.
Fantastic movement from Gekas. Just pulls off the centre-half. Gets a really good touch. But just can't get the ball under control enough to get his shot off. But that's what they're doing. They've got three strikers up there and they're just making their way into the box, just drifting off the centre-halves, in between the centre-halves and the full-backs, and waiting for the ball to be delivered in that area.
So Costa Rica making another change. Randall Brenes started the game against England in Belo Horizonte. comes on, like for like really. Christian Bolaños is a wide player just like Brenes, although Brenes is heading over to the right-hand side. Brian Ruiz is going to take up station on the left, obviously a left-footed player but likes to drift in from the right. And Joel Campbell continues his role up front. 7 minutes of the 90 remaining plus added time. That's how close Costa Rica are from a place in the quarter-finals of the World Cup and a game against Holland. And not just that, a game against a Holland team that really had to work hard in the heat this afternoon. That game is in just less than a week's time. And Costa Rica, I tell you, they will fancy their chances against anyone. But they're down to 10 men here. Duarte sent off, and Greece are coming at them. Torresidis on the right-hand side. Greece trailing by the goal to nil. Torresidis beats 2 men, starts to run infield. Sees Holovas in space on the left. Floats the pass out to him. Holovas kills it stone dead on his left foot. Crosses in with his right foot towards the back post. Gekes underneath. It doesn't jump. And it did take a touch on the way through off Diaz. And Greece get a corner out of not very much there.
Took a touch off Diaz, but again there was an overload. Where's the space? The space is out wide with the fullbacks. The fullbacks can get it and continue to put the ball into the box. Costa Rica needs to make sure they get the first challenge, but even more importantly, make sure they get the second challenge as well. Christodoulos
with the corner, 6 minutes remaining. Greece trailing. Christodoulos, good ball in. That just hits Diaz. Diaz didn't know what was happening there on the edge of his 6-yard box, just falling over. The ball hit him. Costa Rica have cleared, and it could turn into a really good counter-attacking opportunity. Cubero's trying to get away on the left. The pass can't find him. Karnezis has it for Greece. 5.5 minutes remaining. Costa Rica 1, Greece 0 at the moment. Costa Rica setting themselves up for a quarter-final against Holland. You're listening to it on 5 Live. Seen so much late drama at this World Cup, so many late goals. Are we going to get another one? Got 2 from Holland today. Samaras has let that ball run out of play. Greece got 1 in their last game against the Ivory Coast. The Portugal-USA goal we were talking about as well. So many seem to come almost with the last touch of the game. And Greece really created the chances in the second half, not known for their goal scoring. They are a goal behind. They've got 5 minutes plus a bit of added time to try and squirrel out a goal from somewhere.
And if he's going to come from somewhere, it looks like Samaras is keeping himself really out. He's got chalk on his boots out there playing as a left winger. Johnny Acosta needs to make sure that, yes, he tucks in and helps his centre-half, but also gets out a little bit earlier, because Samaras just ran the ball out there, but there's a lot of space for him.
Joel Campbell, nice pass here into the middle of the field, played in, laid off by Brenes. Brenes back to Ruiz. Oh, it might fall for Brenes here. Let the ball just run past his toe. Cross into the area. Borges was trying to get there. Costa Rica still committing men forward, looking for a chance to kill the game. Brenes on the left-hand side. All the Costa Rican substitutes are on their feet saying, just hold on to it, just hold on to it. But he hasn't done that. He's played in Ruiz. Ruiz is in the Greek penalty area. Back to goal. They've got to be careful with the tackles. Now he's heading to the corner flag on the left-hand side. Falls over very easily. But Karagunis is a bit silly there. He put his hands in his back. Ruiz felt the touch. He's gone down. Costa Rica get the free kick.
That's fantastic play for Ruiz. We talk about how you close a game out. You've done exactly the right thing. He got the ball in the box, and there might have been an opportunity for him to turn in. He said, no, I'm going to go over by the corner flag to see if I can get myself a free kick. From a Costa Rican point of view, it's exactly what you do.
Here's another one for you. Costa Rica's world ranking is 28. That's 1 place below Scotland. They're less than 5 minutes away from a place in the World Cup quarter-finals, and goodness me, they deserve it. They have been brilliant at this tournament, and I can only imagine what it is like, not just for the Costa Rican fans here, but just imagine what it's like at the moment back in Costa Rica, in the squares, watching the big screens. I mean, you can't bear to watch at the moment.
It must be incredible. You know, it's one in the eye for people who say you can't find a way to win. Are they better than all the teams that they've beaten? Are they better than the sides that have got to the, you know, they've won their group phase?
Christodoulos here into the penalty area for Greece. Ball into the near post. Navas gets there, makes the block. The ball span up for a second there. I thought that might fall for Katsaranis to smash it home. It didn't. Navas clings on.
Navas again taking up ambitious positions. Here he could just stay in on his line, but he just sneaks out. He takes 1 step, 2 step, and that's exactly what you want if you're a Costa Rican defender. I mean, it could have gone the wrong way. He didn't get on the first touch, but the second touch he was there just to hold it tight and make sure no Greek players got close to it.
Brilliant work from Joel Campbell this time, deep in the Greek half. Just won a throw. Surprise, surprise, no one in a white shirt in the Costa Rican outfits is rushing to take it. Referee says, I'm all over this. I'm stopping the watch. Hurry up and get there. 2.5 minutes plus added time left in Recife. Jorge Luis Pinto on the verge, the manager, of taking Costa Rica to a very, very unlikely place in the World Cup quarter-finals, and he is going to take so much credit for that, and he can't believe here that Costa Rica have just hit a hopeful ball into the Greek penalty area and given the ball back to Greece.
Johnny Costa has just tried to cross the ball with nobody in the box. Those are the things we're talking about. You can't do that. All the players are looking at him like, what are you doing? Just kick the ball in the corner. You can't cross it with 2 minutes to go with no one in the box.
Johnny Acosta sounds like he should be a private eye in Miami. He has that sort of surname. But that wasn't clever play. He's giving Greece the ball back. Minute and a half of the 90 to go, plus added time. Jorge Luis Pinto looking at the pitch, looking at his watch, looking at his players. Just a nervous bundle of energy. Greece have given it away. Costa Rica leading by the goal to nil. Campbell knew he was offside, so Greece have it back with Karnezis. Are we going to get more late drama, or are Costa Rica going through to face Holland in the quarterfinals? Katsaranis goes long. That's what Greece have to do. Holovas nods it down. Can he keep it in by the byline? Oh, just about crosses in. No, the ball's behind for a goal kick. Thought he might have got the deflection to the corner, but actually his first touch and his run just took him too far. And so, Jason Roberts, we are into the 90th minute of the game.
Acosta and Brines challenge for the same ball with Samaras. Someone challenges, someone drops off. You can't do that.
Keylor Navas gets booked for time wasting, taking his time over the goal kick. Referee has been across that in this second half, so Navas is booked. Doesn't rule him out of the next game. That would be an absolute calamity for Costa Rica. He is such an important player for them. 30 seconds of the 90 remaining, and then we'll just have to see how much added time. And I'll tell you what, I can't wait to see the Costa Rican celebrations if they do indeed go on and win and clinch a place in the World Cup quarter-finals. Papastathopoulos, charging run from the Greek centre-back. Good challenge on him from Umania. Greece win a throw-in on the right-hand side. 10 seconds of the 90 minutes remaining, then we're into added time. Costa Rica have everyone behind the ball. Greece have it inside the Costa Rica half. Costa Rica leading Greece by the goal to nil. And Costa Rica holding on with 10 men, as they've been doing for a little while. Samaras floats it forward. Might drop down in the area here. Gekas trying to get it on the turn. Navas with this. Oh, the rebound's in! Greece have done it in the 91st minute of the game. And it's the centre-back, Papastathopoulos. I cannot believe it. It happens time and time again at this incredible World Cup. Costa Rica had 1 foot in the quarter-finals, and Greece have done it again. We're heading for extra time. It's Costa Rica 1, Greece 1.
Can you believe it? We said stick with us. Who knew what was going to happen? Costa Rica got deeper and deeper and deeper, and as the ball came in, they didn't get the challenge. Keeper gets a hand on the ball, but he can't bat it away from his goal, and the Greek players can't believe it. They're lying on the floor. They just cannot believe it. The celebrations here are incredible.
Greece never ever know when they're beaten, and now there is a bit of argy-bargy here. Georgios Samaras is getting involved with a couple of the Costa Rican players. I just wonder whether he's saying serves you right for time wasting. Gekas did really well first of all, Jason. Hit the shot on the turn. He made the goalkeeper make a save, and then Papastathopoulos for a centre-back, it bounced up at him. It's still got to be a decent finish from there, and Greece are at it again. Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. And again, I'm just imagining all those Costa Rican fans back home who thought they were there. They're not there. We've probably got half an hour to play. I've no idea how much added time we've got, but they've got to summon themselves again. And here come Costa Rica down the left-hand side, headed away by Manolas. This World Cup, Jason, every time, every game,
just the drama. And we spoke about the decisions they were making. They got a man sent off now. They didn't close the game out as well as they could. Small little decisions they made, and now look, Greece are in the ascendancy after scoring a goal.
Gekas, who hit the shot that forced the save, that led to the rebound, that led to the goal. We're in added time. 5 minutes of added time. 2 of them have already gone. Christodoulos, oh, that might go in for an own goal. Navas is there. The ball looped up, and Umania gets back. Well, sorry, the touch came off Umania. Navas gets back and makes the save on his line. But just for a second there, the flight of that ball, I thought, that's going in.
The Costa Rican players look really tired now. They look really tired. They look a little bit shell-shocked. Umania didn't even try to kick the ball there. It just sort of hit him. They need to make an adjustment. Now they're going to need Pinto to come up with a new plan, because what they've been doing hasn't allowed them to breach getting out of their half.
With the cross in, headed from Mitroglou. Navas, what a save! Tip over the bar, otherwise Greece were in the quarter-finals. Brilliant bit of goalkeeping.
Costa Rica are getting deeper and deeper and deeper. They're not getting out to the man, they're not dictating to the attacking team, they're just dropping deep and waiting for the ball to come in. Navas with a fantastic save again.
Greece feel this is their moment. They know Costa Rica are down to 10 men. Let's not forget that. They've got to play extra time. Another half hour with 10 men. That's if they can hold Greece out. Navas has stayed down after making a save. He hurt himself as he fell. It's a great ball in from Torresidis. Brilliant header from Mitroglou. That would have been some headlines as well. And Greece just do it again and again. Samaras with the late penalty in injury time against the Ivory Coast. Papastathopoulos in the first minute of added time here, and it's Greece who are piling on the pressure. Greece 1, Ivory Coast 1.
And it's not an easy chance when it comes back to Papastathopoulos. He just got to get his foot, he actually hits it into the ground. You've seen that before where people have skied it. He just hit it into the ground, made sure that it's come in, and he celebrates like he scored the goal that's won the World Cup.
I love the unchoreographed celebrations because he's probably had something planned for months. If I score at the World Cup, and then he both arms out wide, and just that look of just sheer overwhelming joy in his face, fell to the floor, and it took a while to pick himself up. Now, this is a worry for Costa Rica because Keylor Navas, make no mistake about it, is one of the best goalkeepers in this tournament. He's just made a blinding save to keep them in this tie. He's hurt his shoulder. It's Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. Greece with an equaliser in the 91st minute. My stopwatch tells me there's 30 seconds of added time remaining, but I think we're going to have more on top of that. Christodoulos with the corner in. And Brian Ruiz had his arms behind his back. He's just not taking any chances of conceding the handball. Joel Campbell's caught. Karagounis ran into him, and Costa Rica will get themselves the free kick. And I think we're definitely heading for extra time.
We are, and it's exciting. You want it to continue because you're just waiting to see what's going to happen. Greece never gave up.
And all that work you did, Jason, I said to you, there's going to be half an hour after this game, they're going to be talking France, Nigeria, Germany, Algeria, the hours of prep you put in, out the window.
What am I going to do with all of these notes?
Exactly. Take them home and bore the family.
I feel sorry for them already.
Right, full-time whistle's going to go any second, and we're going to get some more drama for you from this World Cup on BBC Radio 5 Live. It just continues to thrill us over here. Greece's 91st minute equaliser has this game at Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. There we go. Full-time whistle blows. Costa Rica were 4.5 minutes away from a place in the quarter-finals of the World Cup. Brian Ruiz side-footed them in front early in the second half. Greece looked out on their feet, and somehow they have done it again. Gekas's shot was blocked by Keylor Navas. He made the save, good save as well. Papastathopoulos, Jason Roberts, has taken us into extra time, and the key thing to remember here is that Costa Rica down to 10 men. They've lost Duarte. They've got to play this next half hour a man short.
And I think Pinto's been an absolute credit to Costa Rica. He's been a fantastic manager for them. The tactical calls he's made, he's got to make some new ones now, because if it continues the way it's going, they're going to lose this match. They've not been able to get out of their half. They're dropping deeper and deeper. Greece are in the ascendancy. He's got to make some changes.
1-1 after the 90 minutes. Mark Pugac, more football to come now. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, very interesting just to see how Costa Rica attack this next 30 minutes of football. Down to 10 men. Greece, of course, have a fairly ageing team. You think of the likes of Karagounis on the field, Katsaranis, Gekas as well, although Gekas only on as the substitute. I guess the other thing as well, Jason Roberts, if you are Costa Rica, they've never played Greece before, but they will know all about Greece and all about what they've done, and they're going to keep on fighting. And as that game gets tighter and tighter, just the fear inside them that Greece is somehow going to pull it out of the bag again. Because, not being unfair to Greece, if you look at the two teams during this World Cup, I would argue that Costa Rica, have been the better team. Yet here they are, they're down to 10 men, they're 1-1 with Greece. That doesn't count for anything, I know. They played the better football, I know.
I wouldn't disagree with that, but the one thing this Greece side, you spoke about their experience, you spoke about what they've done previously. One thing they've got is experience, and they had belief, and they never gave up. You saw against Ivory Coast, when they needed to perform in the last 10 minutes, needed something, they got something. And they needed something here, and they got it, and that was just by doing the age-old thing, putting the ball in the box, battering the opposition, making sure you put in a challenge for the first one and making sure you're there for the second, and they got their rewards. And I wouldn't surprise them if they do that more and more in this extra time period.
As I remember it in Euro 2004, when Greece won Euro 2004, I can't remember them winning a penalty shootout in the knockout stages. Now, someone will correct me if I was wrong, but I think it was 1-0 wins against France, Czech Republic and Portugal.
I don't think they'll be going for the penalties here. I think they'll be starting in the manner with which they finished the second half. I don't see any reason why they should change. Costa Rica haven't given anything going forward, so I think Greece will say, OK, forget the fact that we scored, forget we're in extra time, let's play the exact same way and put this Costa Rican defence under pressure.
Still got the danger of Joel Campbell up front. Costa Rica, goodness me, he's going to have to work hard in the next half hour to try and keep the Greek team under a little bit of pressure when they've got the ball at the back. We're in Recife, it's BBC Radio 5 Live. It's just gone 11 p.m. at home. And as we said right at the start of the second half, we advise you to stick with us, and here we go. Another 30 minutes of roller coaster, hopefully Brazilian World Cup football to come, possibly a penalty shootout as well, playing for a place in the quarterfinals of the World Cup and the right to meet Holland. Those quarterfinals start on Friday. Possibly first one up could be Germany-France. We'll have to see what happens in the games tomorrow. Brazil-Colombia in action on Friday. We'll have commentary on both of those. Tomorrow's games, France-Nigeria at 5 o'clock UK time, Germany-Algeria at 9 o'clock UK time. And I said right at the start of the game as well, Jason, in these last 16 games so far, we had the unbelievable tension of the Brazilian penalty shootout. We then went into the brilliance of Colombia and that amazing James Rodriguez goal. Then today we saw Holland steal 2 late ones. And now here, not necessarily expecting that, we've got the late drama again.
And you're looking at it, you're asking yourself the question why, and is it the fact that we're at Brazil, everyone's excited about being here, everyone wants to play forward-thinking football. We didn't see a forward-thinking game, but in the second half, Greece really made the decision to go after the game and did a great job of it.
Here we go then, extra time is underway in Recife, and Greece have the man advantage. Oscar Duarte sent off for Costa Rica, so they've got to play the next 30 minutes with 10 men, and also lift their chins off the floor, having been 4.5 minutes away from a place in the World Cup quarterfinals. Brian Ruiz gave them the lead in the 53rd minute of this game, but Socrates Papastathopoulos in the 91st minute has got Greece back level, and that's where we are right now. Greece with 11, 1-1 against Costa Rica. Diaz with a strong challenge at left back. Torresini, dangerous ball in, takes a touch, Navas makes the save. First chance in extra time goes Greece's way.
What a fantastic ball in, exactly in the danger area, much like their chance that they had in the first half. Whips his foot right around the ball. Torresini has got that quality. Costa Rica need to get out to the fullbacks quicker.
Navas' long clearance is headed back with interest by Greece. Ball dropping on the halfway line. Holovas can't quite control it. There's a foul on Holovas. Greece get themselves the free kick. So Johnny Acosta is in this right back position now, having come on in the second half. Giancarlo Gonzalez and Michael Umania are the two centre backs, with Junior Diaz at left back. Celso Borges and Jose Cubero in central midfield. Cross comes into the area here, flags up Mitroglou, that wouldn't count. All bounced in front of him and he wasn't able to stab it home. Brenes on the right for Costa Rica, Brian Ruiz on the left hand side, and Joel Campbell through the middle. That's the 10 for them.
Samras is playing a very interesting position for Greece. He's basically going wherever the space is. He's not playing up front, he's just dropping off. In fact, for the goal, he was the one who put the ball in, and now he's dropping into this midfield area, just wherever there's space, he's making himself available, and they're giving him the ball as if to say, you're the one with the most quality, you get it. If you need to put crosses in, you do it. If you need a final pass, you do it.
2 minutes into extra time in Recife. Jason Roberts with us on BBC Radio 5 Live. Costa Rica and Greece is on a knife edge. It's 1-1. Greece's 91st minute goal taking us into extra time. Manolas to Papastathopoulos, who scored that goal, who took it well, bouncing ball with his right foot. Would have been easy to shin it over the bar or stab it wide. He kept his eyes on the ball and struck it bold and true into the back of the net. So those two are the centre-backs. Torresini on the right, Holovas on the left-hand side. Going to be very important for Greece in this 30 minutes. Karagounis and Katsaranis, 72 years old between them, in central midfield. Gekas is on, Mitroglou's on, Samaras and Christodoulos on the right-hand side. That's the 11 against the 10. Karagounis' ball in, more defending for Costa Rica to do. Volley from Christodoulos miscued, and it balloons high and wide and behind for a goal kick. It remains 1-1.
Mitroglou saying, why do you take on such a hard shot? I'm in there, I'm trying to make a run, just take an extra touch, and that's what Greece haven't done well enough. Samaras is looking around just saying, take your time, take the extra touch. If they do, there's enough space for them to break this Costa Rican team down at the moment.
By the way, if it goes to a penalty shootout, I don't want you in tears like the Brazilian chap we watched the Brazil penalty shootout with yesterday. You've got to control yourself.
No promises.
Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. 3 minutes played, extra time in Recife. Joel Campbell jumps with Papastathopoulos. Header won by Brenes. Campbell brings it down on his chest. Costa Rica have got to make the most of every single attacking opportunity. Campbell stays down. He was fairly tackled. He's hurt his right knee. Play continues. Awkward ball for Diaz to deal with, running back towards his own goal. On the turn, almost loses his balance and hoofs it high in the air. Ball's out for a throw. Christodoulos. Now, is he going to take it? He is. Manolas was actually shouting down the field to him and told him to stop playing. Greece have continued. Good ball in. Katsaronis. Oh, it's hit Gekas on the head and gone wide. Gekas didn't think that was coming to him because Mitroglou jumped at the near post, and I think had Gekas had time to steady himself and pick his spot, he could have scored.
That's the second time now. He's not anticipated the mistake. Mitroglou goes up, doesn't get a good purchase on it, and it literally hits him in the face because he's not expecting it. It does move. It is tough on him. He looks around like that ball could have hit me anywhere, but you can see Pinto on the line. He's trying to rally his troops. He's trying to rally his players. They need to do more because at the moment they can't get any relief of the pressure.
Here's another little interesting quirk for you. Fernando Santos, the Greek manager, Portuguese, his contract expires tomorrow. So if Greece go through, there's a little bit of negotiation that needs to be done.
And he'll be in a very strong position, I should think.
He certainly will. Christodoulos on the right-hand side for Greece. It's all them really at the start of this first period of extra time, and that's what you'd expect. They've got a man extra. Karagounis, 30 yards out, onto his left foot, tees up the shots, deflected, ball spins in the air. Navas makes the easy catch in his area.
Great skill from Karagounis, just opens up like he's going to hit it with his right foot, shifts it over to his left. He's still 30 odd yards out, but still wants to take the shot on. And that's where I think Greece needs to just make that extra pass because they've got the opportunity to. They also need to make a decision. They cannot go to penalties if they're showing enough ambition here. They just need to make a decision.
Christodoulos absolutely skips past two challengers in on the right-hand side. Poor cross into the near post. Miscue clearance from Kubero. It almost ran to Gekas. Mitroglou had pulled to the far post. That had to be the ball, and he didn't execute it right. Katsaronis to Karagounis. The two old men, seen it all before in the centre of the Greek midfield. Karagounis, of course, didn't get to play in the final Euro 2004 because he was suspended. Didn't get to play in the quarterfinals at Euro 2012 because he was suspended. Good challenge on Samaras here by Umania. Samaras goes down in a heap. Looks exhausted. Now, this is the danger for Greece here. Campbell on his own, just about tackled by Papastathopoulos, and Costa Rica win themselves a throw. So actually, a World Cup quarter-final for Karagounis, considering those two suspensions, would mean the world to him in this his last tournament. 37 years old, and tonight when he is 139th cap. But every single player out there is going to have a story, and you know how they got there to where they are today, and trying to reach this World Cup quarter-final. It's on the line at the moment. It's Costa Rica 1, Greece 1, and you're listening to it on BBC Radio 5 Live. And don't worry, we're taking you all the way through, if indeed it does go to the penalty shootout drama, just as it did with Brazil yesterday against Chile. Long ball down the line towards Campbell, trying to run away from Holovas, goes down, doesn't get the free kick. Holovas takes the throw for Greece. They're in the blue with the white trim, white numbers on their back, playing from left to right. If you were sitting in our seats here in Recife, high up, looking down with a nice bird's eye view of the pitch against Costa Rica, all in white with a bit of red trim. Samaras is drifting again on the move from right to left. Good ball to Holovas. Holovas gets it out from under his feet, crosses block behind for a Greece corner.
Samaras is bossing this game now. He's going wherever he needs to go to get on the ball. When he gets it, he won't just play one touch or two touch. He's got the ability to go past players. He's drifted past two or three there and then try to put the fullback in a position to put the cross in. So they need to do something about him. He's starting to become more and more of an influence in the game. Midway through the first period of extra time, Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. Corner for Greece on the left-hand side will be an away swinger because Holovas with his left foot is going to take it, unless of course he goes for a bit of magic with the outside of his left boot and tries to swerve it in at the near post, but unlikely. Holovas, it is an away swinger. Papastathopoulos jumps and stabs the ball over the bar. There was a foul there, wouldn't have counted. Lots of players in the box, the ball's bouncing around, and that's what we said about the Costa Rican defenders. It's one thing to get the first touch on the ball, the first challenge, like they got it. It's even more important to get the second challenge. They were lucky there was a free kick given away there, and I'm not sure it was. It looked like honest, just players going in there. They look very tired, the Costa Rican players. They're going to have to find a way to relieve some pressure. It's hard on Joe Campbell playing up front there by himself. No one's run past him in the last 45 minutes, but he needs to find a way to occupy the Greek defenders better.
It's not hot, but it's Brazil, and we're fairly far north, and it's sticky, it's warm, it's sort of late 20s this evening, and the breeze seems to have disappeared. We're in extra time. Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. Just a reminder, tomorrow, France-Nigeria, 5 o'clock UK time, Germany-Algeria, 9 o'clock UK time. 2 full commentaries on BBC Radio 5 Live, and of course all the Wimbledon action as well. Andy Murray in last 16 action up against Kevin Anderson. So Samaras is fouled here. Basically tomorrow, back in the UK, got to hope the sun's shining, in the garden, maybe cut the grass, pour the Pims, and you got Wimbledon and World Cup all afternoon, all evening. I mean, it doesn't get better than that.
That's what you would do. You live some life, ABB. Fantastic.
Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. Holovas will take this free kick. You just feel that one of these set pieces might just lead to that goal, and it might be horrible, it might be scruffy, it might be a deflection, but that constant pressure, can Costa Rica keep them out? Free kick for Greece, left-hand side. Holovas getting ready to take. 6 blue shirts in a line on the edge of the penalty area. Holovas with his left foot curls it in, might drop down to Vitroglu, couldn't control it. Gekas gets there first, down by the byline, moved away from goal, plays the ball back in, might fall to Holovas. Challenge on Holovas, he's still going. Now the shot by Katsaranis is blocked at the near post and behind for a corner.
The ball's bouncing around everywhere. We spoke about anticipation earlier. Mitroglou, if he anticipates that ball coming into him, he's got a shot on goal. It ricochets around, and finally there's a shot on goal. Navas again showing what he's good at. He's been absolutely fantastic here with his positioning, and he's been so positive for his defence.
Corner for Greece, it's still 1-1. Flicked on by Katsaranis, no one at the back post. There's a block by Gonzalez at the near post. I tell you what, there was a risky little challenge on Holovas as well. There was a leg stuck out, the tiniest bit of contact. He could have taken it, he could have gone down.
It's a tired challenge, that's what happens. You can't execute things as well as you can when you're not tired. And at the moment, the Costa Rican players, their body language, everything about them, the way they're moving, their shape, it just looks tired.
Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. Keep repeating, Costa Rica down to 10 men, as they've been for quite a while. Oscar Duarte sent off in this game for a second yellow card. Silly second challenge, didn't need to make. First one he really had to take for the team. Torresidis, good ball into the near post. Navas, good keeping, off his line quickly, straight into the breadbasket.
A fantastic ball again. I said all the spaces out wide, and Torresidis has a fantastic opportunity to put the ball in. He does. If anyone's making that run that strikers love to make across the keeper, there would have been a great opportunity to get a shot on goal there.
Winners of this game face Holland in the quarterfinals in Salvador on Saturday. Celso Borges, rare run forward here for Costa Rica. Holovas has sliced his clearance, and Costa Rica now will just want to take some time out of the game and take their time overtaking this throw.
And Campbell's complaining to the referee. He feels like he's not been getting anything. I've got to agree with him. There's been some harsh challenges in. The Greek defenders know they can do that because no one's running past him, and he's been on the receiving end of some really, really meaty challenges.
Throw down the line. Jason knows what that's all about, playing up front on your own and taking the whacks from those big ugly centre-backs.
And they've done that very well with Campbell today.
Yeah,
he's going to need an ice pack after this game.
And you don't have to do it anymore, Jason.
Yeah, but I still need an ice pack every day.
After the commentaries, 3 minutes remaining. First period of extra time. Greece have given it away. This could be dangerous. Brenes is well tackled. Karagounis, what a job he's done there for his team. Just got his body down, almost on his knees to make the block as Brenes tried to get past him. Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. Costa Rica with defending to do again. Christodoulos plays the ball into Mitroglou. Terrible first touch. He's got away with it. No, he hasn't. Bad foul here on Cubero. Ball ran away from him. Second touch had to be a tackle because the first one was so poor, and he's committed the foul.
Mitroglou hasn't been as effective as you'd like him to be. He's a big man. He's quick. He's powerful. He hasn't really caused the problems that you would have from the Greece team's perspective, the problems that you know we can do. He hasn't had much service, but a couple times he's lacked anticipation. But I'm sure he'll continue going in the hope that he get a chance.
5 Live, Brazil 2014, extra time here in the 4th knockout game of the tournament so far. Already through to the quarterfinals. Brazil and Colombia. They'll meet each other on Friday. 9 o'clock kickoff UK time. Holland are there. They beat Mexico earlier today with goals in the 88th and 94th minute. So cruel on Mexico. Mexico out, Holland are there, and they meet the winners of this game, and they'll be absolutely delighted this has gone to extra time after they had such an energy-sapping effort in Fortaleza earlier on today. Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. Poor ball from Greece, intercepted by Junior Diaz. Ruiz looks up, good ball from him, curling the pass onto the chest of Brenes on the right-hand side. Borges making a run in the middle here. Joel Campbell has it. Little reverse pass. Costa Rica are in here. Brenes with the ball to the near post. Great defending at the near post. Karagounis again slides in and blocks it, and Greece eventually get themselves a free kick. What an effort!
Some ambition from Costa Rica at last. Brenes makes a fantastic run in behind, gets a good ball, and Borges makes a really good run. He fakes to go one way, goes another way, gets in front of the centre half, but a fantastic tackle from the defender there. They're defending well. Costa Rica need to show a little bit more ambition, because when they do show ambition, there is opportunities to get behind this Greek defence.
Katsaranis actually slid in, not Karagounis. I got my veteran Greek midfielders wrong there, but I tell you what, that was brilliant. Brilliant bit of covering back. Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. 45 seconds remaining in this first period of extra time on BBC Radio 5 Live. Getting ever nearer that dreaded penalty shootout to decide who's going to play Holland in the quarter-finals of the World Cup. Costa Rica look out on their feet here. Down to 10 men. Samaras on the turn, trying to move away from Johnny Acosta. Ball down the left-hand side from Samaras, trying to find Holovats. Blocked. Bounces back to the halfway line. Katsaranis here for Greece, sprinting from left to right. Fires the ball out wide to Torosidis. Torosidis' ball in. Little ball from Gekas trying to find Mitroglou. Cleared by Costa Rica. Having to deal with the pressure late on here. Holovas cross in towards Gekas. Offside flag is up. Costa Rica will get a free kick.
Gekas took a touch as the first cross came in, and Samaras was right over. Samaras had his hands up. He's telling him now, just leave it. Just let the ball go across. I'm in on goal. Bad decision from Gekas.
Well, there we go. That is the last action of the first period of extra time. No real chances in there. It remains Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. Costa Rica understandably look absolutely exhausted, down to 10 men. Fair bit of Greek pressure there. Mark Pugac just couldn't find the killer ball. 15 minutes away from a penalty shootout.
You may have seen this stat already, Ali, but Keylor Navas has kept out 5 of the last 10 penalties.
Has he?
The second best record at the World Cup. I'm sure he will know that. I'm sure he'll know that. And that Jorge Luis Pinto might well know that. So, as we said, Jason, it's going to be their best bet, isn't it, Costa Rica, to go to penalties and try and win it from there.
It is not like they have a choice. They're out on their feet. They just can't get out to the ball, and there's so much space in the wide areas, hence all the balls going into their box. But you wonder if Santos knows the stat you just said, because if he does, he might say, you know what, guys, we've got 15 minutes. They're not showing anything getting in behind us. Let's go a little bit more on the front foot. Let's be even more attacking, because they haven't attacked in this extra time period as they were in the second half of normal time.
The Dutch won't mind this either, Jason, will they?
Oh, this will be fantastic for them. I mean, there's no doubt this stays in your legs. You don't just get rid of this mentally, physically. This stays in your legs, so this will be fantastic for the Dutch.
So a break, and Jorge Luis Pinto's having a word with his team as well. Can he summon them? One last hurrah. Paulo Wanchope clapping his hands as well. But as the boys were saying, the commentary in Recife, down to 10 men and absolutely exhausted. Costa Rica can barely get out of their half, let alone raise a gallop to try and get what might be a winning goal. Will the Greeks show a little bit more? Will they try and win it? Or are they happy to go to the penalty shootout and see what happens from there? 15 minutes to go. I'm sure Ali Bruceball's got his chart already drawn, haven't you, Alistair?
Yeah, oh yeah, the penalty sheet is out, and we are 15 minutes away from that eventuality. I'm just looking here on our statistics screen to see when Duarte was sent off, and it was midway through the second half. So far Costa Rica have played about 50 minutes or so, just under an hour of football with 10 men in this heat, and it's not the midday heat in Brazil, but it still takes its toll. They're down to 10 men, and they've been hanging on a little bit in extra time. Costa Rica 1, Greece 1, 15 minutes away from a possible penalty shootout, the second at this World Cup. It can't be anything like as tense as the penalty shootout yesterday, because it doesn't involve Brazil. I've never witnessed anything like that in the cafe we were in yesterday. I can't imagine what it must have been like in the stadium, but still, for the fans, for the players, for everyone connected to these two countries, it will be absolute agony. Second period of extra time is underway. Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. Brenes in behind the Greek defence, hits the shot well, just sliced, just too high, and behind. Sniff of a chance for Costa Rica right at the start of this second period of extra time.
Great centre forward play by Campbell, just gets a touch on that. Brenes, at last someone runs past Campbell, gives him a bit of respite, and when he does, he gets the opportunity to get a strike on goal. It's far out, it's to the right of the goal, but he gets his foot through it, and that's a good opportunity just to relieve some pressure and make sure you keep the Greek defence honest.
Great stat from Mark Pugac at half-time there. 5 of his last 10 penalties. I mean, he strikes you as a penalty saver, Navas. He's flamboyant, he's acrobatic, he's athletic. And he's one of the key men in this side. Might have something to do here, though. Torresidis, low ball into the near post. Gonzalez just stabs it away with his right foot. Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. Brian Ruiz gave Costa Rica the lead in this game, and that goal had them 4.5 minutes from a place in the World Cup quarter-finals. They conceded in the 91st minute to Greece. Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. And here's Joel Campbell on the halfway line. As always this evening, 2 defenders for company, can't keep it, and the ball goes out for a Greece throw. Minute and a half played in the second period of extra time. I'm nervous for them.
I just wonder if Santos knows the statistic we've just said, because surely that's got to shape the way you go about the game. If you know you have a goalkeeper who's so good at saving.
Slide ball through to Gekas. Navas got to get there quickly, got there just in time, did well the goalkeeper, both hands on the ball, might have taken a knot there on his knee as he came through. That was almost inch perfect pass.
It was for the first time the Costa Rican defence aren't camped on the edge of their box. They come out and there's a big space behind them. Gekas runs in behind them. You know, I'm not sure that, I mean, it's an honest challenge. He's gone in. I think he's trying to hurdle the keeper, but he just caught him a little bit. And that'll be I mean, we spoke about his record at penalties. That's the last thing you'll want to see if you're Pinto.
Yeah, Navas got there first, and Gekas, he didn't go for the ball with a full-blooded challenge. He left his right foot in there just to see if he could get a little touch on it to knock it past the keeper. He's caught Navas on the right knee, and so Navas at the moment has got that ice-cold spray. So he's taken a bash to the shoulder, a bash to the knee. Just got a feeling he might still be the hero here, Jason.
It's a wonder what that spray does to bumps and bruises. Honestly, it goes on and you think, this is fine now. I'll be all right. We've all done it.
2.5 minutes remaining. Jason Roberts with us on BBC Radio 5 Live. We're going late in the UK. We're heading towards 11:30, but it's brilliant drama again at the World Cup. And there'll be plenty more to come over the next couple of weeks. Tomorrow, France-Nigeria kicks off 5 o'clock UK time. Germany-Algeria at 9 o'clock. And then on Tuesday, the Argentines back in action again against Switzerland. They're the 5 o'clock kickoff. And it's Belgium against the USA. Quarter-final start on Friday. Gekas throws the ball behind for a goal kick to Costa Rica, 12 minutes away from a penalty shootout in Recife. And if you're playing there, Jason, you've been involved in shootouts. Our players, I know they've got to keep their mind on the game, but if you're going to take one, you're probably already thinking about it, aren't you?
Yeah, you are. So at the back of your mind, you're thinking about what you're going to do. You are preoccupied with it, actually. But you need to keep your mind on the game. But it's human nature. You are going to think about what's going to go on because it's such high stakes.
Coach, obviously, both coaches will be thinking about who to put down, who's done well in practice with the penalties. Brilliant work from Joel Campbell. Clumsily fouled in the end by Karagounis. They've really struggled to deal with him all evening. And Campbell's won a free kick for Costa Rica. So rare attacking opportunity for them. Free kick midway inside the Greece half. In a sort of inside right position. Randall Brenes has come on as a second half substitute for Costa Rica, will take it, and quite rightly they're throwing a few forward here. Gonzalez, the centre back, is up. Borges is in there. Junior Diaz as well. Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. Just over 10 minutes remaining. Brenes with the free kick curled into the area. Overhead kick here from Gonzalez is interesting, but bounces wide and behind for a goal kick.
Really ambitious there from Gonzalez. The ball pops up and he thinks, let's have an overhead kick, and he actually puts it into a really good area. But like I said, the Costa Rican players are so tired, no one had made the run.
Just over 10 minutes away from penalties here in Brazil, in Recife. Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. Up to Greece really to show the initiative here. They're up against 10 men. Christodolopoulos doing exactly that down the right-hand side. He's beaten Umania down to the byline on the right. Can he pick a cross? Doesn't beat the first defender. Ball loops up in the air. Volleyed away by Borges. Anywhere will do for Costa Rica. Joel Campbell caught offside. Greece take the free kick quickly on the halfway line. Up against 10 men. It's 1-1. Katsaranis. Karagounis supports from outside, 45 yards out. Slips a little pass to Christodoulos, plays the ball out wide to Torosidis. Poor cross this time, he's put in some great deliveries late in this game. That wasn't one of them, it's behind for a goal kick.
You'll forgive him that, he really has put in some unbelievable quality there, but Torosidis, that was a really poor delivery. There was 3 Greek players in there ready to attack the ball. Little bit of a disappointment there, but he's had a good game. He's put some excellent balls in the danger area.
Into the last 10 minutes, can someone settle this without the need for the spot kicks? Goal kick for Costa Rica. Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. Mustn't forget what's on the line here as well. Neither of these teams has been in a World Cup quarter-final ever before. Greece playing in their 3rd World Cup. This is the first time they've ever been in the knockout stages. Costa Rica in their 4th World Cup. Made it to the last 16 in their first one in 1990, but haven't got out of the groups since then. And here they are, Cubero on the right-hand side. They were so close to that quarter-final place. Here's Cubero. Oh, great work, down to the byline. Now, can he pick someone in the middle? Looking for Campbell. Campbell goes down in the box, wants a penalty, not going to get it. The ball behind for a Costa Rican corner. Brilliant play by Jose Cubero.
Excellent work from Cubero. He goes past 1, 2, 3 challenges, makes his way to the byline. Campbell knows he's going to struggle to get to it, so makes the right one just across the keeper, just across the centre-half, gets to the near post, but there's not much he can do with it. It comes at a really awkward height for him. He makes the right run, but it was a hard ball to deal with. He tries something elaborate, but it's the right run.
8 minutes remaining, and then it's penalties. Costa Rica 1, Greece 1 in Recife. Corner for Costa Rica. Joel Campbell will deliver this with his left boot in towards the near post, flick to the back post, and Gonzalez ran just past it. Goalkeeper was beaten. Now Greece come on the counter. Oh my word, it's 5 against 2. It could all change here. Mitroglou's charging forward with the ball. Still Mitroglou. Plays it to the right-hand side. Shot comes in. Navas makes the save at the near post. Power strike from Christodoulos. Greece still have the men forward. And Costa Rica all of a sudden were almost caught out from the corner. Could still be caught out here as well. 8 minutes remaining. 1-1. Navas makes another important save. Karagounis has it for Greece. Plays it across midfield. Back again here to Karagounis. Ball on his right foot, possibly looking for the shooting opportunity. Turns Cubero inside out. Karagounis again, that's a tired effort. Scuffs the ball off his left foot, and it bounces into the arms of Navas, who quickly runs to the edge of the box. And with a side-footed volley, tries to find Joel Campbell, and he's done so. Campbell's on his own up against 2 Greek defenders. Heads the ball, beaten to it by Manolas. Manolas really strong in the challenge. He's beaten him, he's got it away from him. And Papastathopoulos had it. That was 5-on-2, Jason, for Greece.
And that's the frustration there. Yes, the shot was taken. It was from quite a hard angle. But 5v2, you need to get an open shot within the width of the goal, so that would be a disappointment. They streamed forward, but those opportunities are there for them because the Costa Rican players are out on their feet.
Christodoulos crossing towards the back post. Mitroglou can't get there, it's just too far ahead of him. He does look rusty, Mitroglou, doesn't he? Because he was the one who had the ball at his feet and he was running. He just didn't look like a player. If that had been Joel Campbell, say, I think he would have known what to do.
Mitroglou, he just made... I'm not sure if it's the wrong decision. He passed it out wide, but then I think Christodoulos needs to make a better decision there. He takes the shot on, but there's an opportunity to move the ball on again. Mitroglou is just not incisive enough. He's just not making runs into the box with intent. He's just meandering into the box, and he's better than that. He's a good player, scored a lot of goals over in Greece, but he hasn't looked at it so far.
Jason Roberts with us on BBC Radio 5 Live, and at the moment 6 minutes away from more penalty drama at the World Cup in Brazil. Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. Costa Rica was so nearly there. They've got the throw-in at the moment. They're playing with 10 men. In fact, with the 10 men, they've done well to take it this far. Johnny Acosta with the throw down the line. Brenes beaten in the air. Gets another chance and lobs the ball forward to Campbell. Campbell fouls Papastathopoulos, who scored that goal for Greece in the 91st minute. Gekas just shoves Cubero to the floor, wins the ball and plays it back to Manolas. Here come Greece again, heading towards the last 5 minutes here in extra time. Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. Katsaranis, 40 yards out, chips the ball in to the Costa Rican box. Umania heads it away. Costa Rica exhausted. Katsaranis again, just toying with it at the moment. Greece looking for one last push. Goal scorer Papastathopoulos, the centre-back. has Samaras outside him. Samaras on another languid run down towards the byline, stands the ball up to the back post. Navas makes the clean catch. Good keeping again.
It's been a feature of the game. Every time they need him, he's there. He had no chance with the goal, but every time you need him, he's just sneaking that extra yard just to give his defence that respite to come and claim the ball. He's had an excellent game, Navas.
Is he going to be the hero in the penalty shootout, or is it going to be Orestes Karnezis, the Greek goalkeeper, who got injured in the last game but fit enough to take part in this one? He's had very little to do since Costa Rica went down to 10 men. Beaten quite easily by the Brian Ruiz pass, really into the bottom corner early in the second half. Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. Here come Greece down the left. Holovas, so impressive for them. Little step over. Into the box he goes. Still going. Brenes slides in and knocks the ball behind for a corner. I thought he was going to be fouled.
He had an opportunity to go down there. There's no doubt in my mind. Holovas stays on his feet as he breaks into the box. There's a challenge that comes and he hurdles it. You have seen players go down there. Credit to him. I wonder if his manager's saying the same thing.
4 minutes remaining, 4 minutes from penalties. Greece corner. Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. BBC Radio 5 live at the World Cup in Brazil. Holovas gets ready to take it with his left foot. Curls it in towards the near post. Goes a long way. Diaz volleys it away. Manolas, one of the Greek centre-backs, just stabs the ball out to the left-hand side. Holovas curls it in, but we're going to stop play here. There was an offside flag up for the initial ball into the box. 3 minutes, just over 3 minutes away from penalties. It's an obvious thing to say, Jason. I'm already feeling sorry for whoever's going to cost their country a chance of a World Cup quarter-final.
And that's the part of penalties. That's why we love it so much. It's that human drama, but there's always someone in it, who the person who misses it, the person who misses the kick that puts their country out. It's a hard thing to take, but there's also going to be someone who's going to score the goal to put their country through.
So speaks Jason Roberts, who's taken important penalties for his country, for Grenada. One I particularly remember against the USA, which he scored. I'm sure he won't mind me telling you that.
Thank God.
Probably one of your most nervous moments, though, no? Stepping up to that?
Without a doubt. I would have got the next play now if I didn't score.
2.5 minutes remaining. Greece 1, Costa Rica 1. Greece coming forward again, pouring forward with the blue shirts here. Costa Rica on the ropes, desperately trying to hold on. Samaras has it. Steps onto his right foot, 25 yards out. Tries to dink the cross in. Costa Rica intercept up towards Joel Campbell. Campbell on the halfway line is allowed to turn, and he's got Cubero in support on the left-hand side. It's 3 for Costa Rica against 5 for Greece. Can they work it? Campbell on the edge of the area, too tired. Just miscontrolled it out of sheer exhaustion. And now suddenly Greece comes storming forward. And Manolas, the centre-back, looks up and sees Mitroglou in space. On the left, step over from him. Right-footed shot's awful. Into the crowd, way behind the goal. Goal kick for Costa Rica. 2 minutes remaining.
Mitroglou takes on a really tough shot from a really awkward position as he comes inside, showing a bit of skill. All the other players got their hands up in the air. Like, why didn't you pass the ball there? We had a break, we had an overload on the right-hand side, but he's a striker. He plays off confidence at the moment. He's not at the level that he's been at in the past. So to take on that shot was ambitious.
Blank sheet of paper, all ready for penalties. We are 1 minute and 20 seconds away from that eventuality to decide who's going to play Holland in the quarterfinals of this fabulous World Cup in Brazil. Costa Rica 1, Greece 1, long clearance from Navas all the way through to his opposite number, Karnezis. Karnezis, in fact, lets Papastathopoulos take it off his toes. Into the last minute of extra time in Recife. Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. Katsaranis finds Karagounis. One last attack possibly, one last chance even maybe for Greece. The old-timers. Mitroglou plays it out wide to Holovas. Holovas thinks about slinging it first time into the box. Decides to try and beat his man first. Got 2 defenders for company now, Holovas. Down to the corner. Ooh, he's won a corner. He's won a corner with 30 seconds to play.
Well played, Holovas. That's exactly what he wanted. That's the best case scenario in the corner against 2 Costa Rican defenders, and now they pour forward.
Surely they can't do it again. 91st minute goal to take it into extra time, and now a corner in the dying seconds of extra time. Holovas, terrible corner, bounces once and Ruiz clears it away. 2 minutes of added time going on top at the end here, so we're not quite to penalties yet. Greece still have it. Costa Rica are at walking pace, and they're just desperately trying to hold on. Karagounis floats one down the middle. Ball's flicked on. Falls to Samaras. on the left-hand edge of the box, cross into the near post, volleyed away. Up to Brian Ruiz, brilliant slide tackle by Samaras on Ruiz, but then Samaras is robbed of the ball, goes down, definitely no free kick. Borges up to Campbell, Campbell's lost it, wins it back. Now Borges to Campbell, Campbell on the right-hand side, just slightly overruns it. It's almost beyond the limits of human endurance what the Costa Rican players are trying to do here. Samaras has stayed down, whistles ringing round the stadium in these 2 minutes of added time. Gekas with a header, Mitroglou with the shot, oh, it's deflected wide, and Navas makes yet another incredible save for Costa Rica to keep them in the World Cup.
Navas again, this is the chance that Greece have been waiting for. Mitroglou, he's got one-on-one with the keeper, he's coming over his shoulder, he hits it on the half volley, and Navas is right out there, makes himself as big as possible. It hits his hip, but that's what he's done for his team, and going into these penalties, if that's what's going to do, he's going to be the man they'll be looking at.
Costa Rica 1, Greece 1. Greece corner, last minute of extra time, out to Samaras on the edge of the box, free kick goes against Greece. I think it's going to be penalties. Keylor Navas is a very good keeper. He's also a lucky keeper, but that's what you've got to be, because there have been 2 saves in this game. One with his right leg when he was going the wrong way, when obviously your instinct is to stick the leg out, but you've got to be lucky it's got to hit you. And there Mitroglou slightly scuffs it. The ball could so easily have bounced over Navas. It glances his hip and it goes behind.
It's not luck, it's position, and he's 2 or 3 yards out. He's right on top of Mitroglou. He's surprised he's even there. Excellent save. And Navas, I'm sure, will be going to the penalty kicks, if that's what it is, with confidence.
Oh, absolutely. 10 seconds remaining. It's got to be penalties. Costa Rica want penalties. The subs are screaming for it. It is penalties. That is it. Greece against 10-man Costa Rica. Couldn't find the goal in the last half hour. And it's time for the heroes to step up to try and put one of these 2 countries in the World Cup quarterfinals for the very first time. And the way Keylor Navas's night has gone so far, Jason Roberts, and I know it can all turn round, and I know anything can happen in penalties, but I'd like to have Keylor Navas in my goal. I'd like him trying to be saving penalties for me.
Without a doubt, he's been absolutely sensational, he's been brave, he's took up really positive positions, he's been great right the way through this, made 2 or 3 saves that were as good as goals, and going into this penalty kick will be full of confidence. But those Greek players, they were in a better physical state than the Costa Rican players. Let's see who can turn up and deliver the penalties.
So penalties it is going to be. Once again, the 2 teams move into their huddles, trying to sort out the takers. Players collapsing onto the turf, particularly the Costa Ricans getting the treatment from the masseurs. They went down to 10 men midway through the second half. They were so close to a place in the World Cup quarterfinals, and it comes down to a penalty shootout in Recife. It is coming right up on 5 Live. It's finished Costa Rica 1, Greece 1 after 120 minutes of unbending dramatic football. Yeah, he's heading down the tunnel. I presume that's not a decision of his own making. So he's been, I mean, if you've been sent off though, you've been sent off, surely you can't stay there, sort out your penalty takers, talk them through it, and then disappear down the tunnel. But that's what's happened. You're absolutely right. Let's just remind you as well, I know it's a statistical quirk, Mark. Not statistically, but actually his contract runs out tomorrow. So maybe that's what he's worried about. I'm sure it isn't. And I'm sure, you know, obviously if they carry on in this World Cup, but I just quite like that line before this game. But we're almost ready to go. Heartbreak is on the way for someone, and utter unbridled joy and bedlam on the way for someone else, because a penalty shootout very shortly is going to get underway here in Recife. Brian Ruiz and Georgios Karagounis, for the 3rd time tonight, Fulham teammates, are going to meet on the halfway line. Karagounis in the blue of Greece, Brian Ruiz in the white and red trim of Costa Rica, and they both share rueful smiles. They both know, not necessarily down to luck here, but anything can happen in penalty shootouts. Keylor Navas, who's been absolutely brilliant for Costa Rica tonight, in goal for them, and Orestes Karnesis all in yellow for Greece. So, Jason Roberts, you've been there. Your name is down on the list. You're standing there. Just take us down there. Tell us what that's like.
Controlling your emotions. It's purely emotional. You've practiced a million times. You took penalties. Listen, I've scored penalties. I've missed penalties. It's all about controlling your emotions. But how do you control your emotions when the world is watching? when your country's watching and it's on you stepping up against a keeper from 12 yards. Everyone says as a professional player you should score. It doesn't work that way, because controlling those emotions, controlling all the things that's going on in your head, the different scenarios, that's the challenge. The keeper's got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
All he's got to do is get a touch on it and he's a hero. You've got everything to lose. Everyone expects you to score. I wish them all luck.
Absolutely. Well, we love them as commentators, and I think neutrals back home love watching them and love listening to them, because it is just the highest form of drama to decide a place in the World Cup quarter-finals. But if you're taking one of these penalties, unless you're Neymar, of course, and you just stroll up with the whole nation watching 200 million people and stroke it into the bottom corner, they must be an absolute nightmare. Karnezis, the Greek goalkeeper, is the first to head to the right. The penalties will be taken in the goal away to our right-hand side, and as Jason Roberts says, it doesn't really make too much difference in terms of a home end away, and there is a big patch of Greek support in there, but there's also plenty of Costa Rican support. And here we go. The drama is about to unfold. Brazil managing to get past Chile in one of the tensest penalty shootouts I've ever witnessed yesterday, and now it's the turn of the Costa Rica and Greece players after a 1-1 draw. And do not forget, Costa Rica down to 10 men for so long in the game, but Greece equalising in the 91st minute of the game. As you'd expect, no one has left their seats. The arena is jam-packed. It's a hot, sticky night. Loads of these camera bulbs. Well, it's the iPhones, isn't it? And the tablets are popping away. Everyone getting their snap for the I was there moment. The substitutes are on the side of the pitch, all linking arms. Both sets of players are on the halfway line. And coming forward, first of all, is Celso Borges of Costa Rica. Now, his father is a famous Costa Rican player who played in that team that got to the last 16 in the 1990 World Cup, Brazilian born as well, and coached the team at 2 World Cups. He'll be watching on from somewhere, I'm sure. Karnezis waits behind the goal line, and Borges at the moment has gone ahead of the referee here, so he's actually made the pressure worse for himself, Jason, because he's standing there playing basketball in the middle of the half. He just wants to get on with this.
It's a psychological game, isn't it? He's got there nice and early. He's made sure he's got the ball in his hands. The keeper hasn't got it, and he doesn't want him throwing the ball about and taking his time. He wants to take his own time, take control of the situation, take charge of the situation, and the referee's making his way over to him now.
I do not envy any of them this, apart from the goalkeepers maybe. Chance to be a hero. Navas in particular for Costa Rica has been brilliant tonight. Is it going to be his night? Costa Rica will take the first penalty here. Coming up to 1:45 in the UK, BBC Radio 5 Live, penalty drama at the World Cup. Costa Rica against Greece. Neither country has ever played in the quarter-finals of the World Cup, but in about 5 minutes' time, one of them, via this penalty shootout, will be doing exactly that. Celso Borges, looking cool, bouncing the ball, spinning it in his fingers, eventually puts the ball down on the spot. Costa Rica go first, and this is Borges, who'll take it right-footed. Walks purposely back to the edge of the box. Karnezis in goal, standing stock still, now bouncing on his line. Borges scores! Brilliant penalty, into the roof of the net. Costa Rica 1, Greece 0.
That's a fantastic penalty right into the roof of the net, goes straight over to his keeper, says, come on Navas, do it for us now. Very calm start. As soon as the whistle was blown, he took his time, took control of the situation, never looked in danger of missing that penalty.
Fulham's Kostas Mitroglou. We've talked about him in this game. He's looked rusty, he's come on as the sub. Plenty of Costa Ricans jeering him. Has he got the belief? Has he got the confidence? Mitroglou spins the ball in his hands and puts the ball right at the front of the penalty spot. You can actually see most of the spot behind the ball. He's going to take it left-footed. Keylor Navas has saved 5 of his last 10 penalties. Holds his arms out wide. And here comes Mitroglou. Delays and sends Navas the wrong way with a really coolly taken penalty. It's 1-1.
That's how you do it. Just walks up to the ball, never under any pressure. Walks up to the ball slowly, waits for the keeper to make a move, and just passes it into the left-hand side of the net. Excellent penalty.
No real rust there. BBC Radio 5 Live in Recife. Costa Rica 1, Greece 1 on penalties. I think this is Brian Ruiz, who's a brilliant striker of the ball. Scored the goal with a real sweet pass into the bottom corner, which very nearly took Costa Rica to the quarter-finals. Takes a huge deep breath, places the ball on the spot, slowly marches back, and he's just staring at the ball with his hands on his hips. Whistle blows. Brian Ruiz for Costa Rica. Short steps up to the ball, and another really good penalty. Carneses went the wrong way. This one is high into the back of the net. Costa Rica lead 2-1.
Another fantastic penalty from Costa Rica. Carneses is going a little bit early. He's on the other side of the goal by the time Ruiz puts it in, but it's hard to maintain your position. Ruiz walked up to the ball so slowly. It's been a feature of all the penalties so far. Really slow walk up to the ball.
Lazaros Christodoulos takes penalties for Bologna. Scored 2 this season. This is slightly different. This is the World Cup. This is for a place in the quarter-finals. Well, Greece at the moment 2-1 down, but their second penalty to come. Christodoulos runs fast to the ball. Oh, what a cool penalty. Scores it brilliantly. Navas went the wrong way, run up to the ball, slightly paused before he hit it, and strokes it into the bottom corner. Great penalty so far.
One of the hardest ones to do. He just opens his body out and just stabs the ball in. He doesn't strike through it. He doesn't strike it too hard. Just waits for the keeper to go. And that's been a feature of these penalties so far. The keepers are moving very, very early.
The penalties that we've seen taken so far have been better than the Brazil-Chile penalty in terms of quality of penalty.
By far.
So far. Centre-backs up. Giancarlo Gonzalez plays his club football for Columbus Crew. Very deliberate placing of the ball on the spot. No one's missed yet. Now this is quite a short run Gonzalez is taking for Costa Rica. Here he comes with his right foot. Scores again. Goalkeeper Carneses threw himself to his right. Couldn't keep that out. There's an animalistic howl from Gonzalez to celebrate. And Costa Rica lead 3-2. Oh gosh, that was close to being saved.
Pure relief from Gonzalez. A good penalty, but the keeper's very, very close. If he sticks an arm up, there's an opportunity to get there. I think the keepers are getting it now. If you're going to come up slowly, we'll wait and wait and wait and wait for the taker to make a decision.
Trying to see who this is coming forward for Greece. It's Holovas, the left back. Again, another really sweet striker of the ball with his left foot. Now Navas has got nowhere near either of the Greek penalties so far. Costa Rica have scored all their 3. For a place in the World Cup quarter-finals, don't forget. Flashbulbs still popping. Navas bounces on his line. Holovas waits. Here he comes. Going to hit it left-footed. Navas close to it, but no. Really good penalty again. Flying into the roof of the net. It's 3-3.
Holovas shows fantastic composure here. The penalties here have been as good as you can see. Absolutely incredible. Really close to the top corner. Just whips it in with his left foot. The standard of penalties have been absolutely brilliant.
Jason Roberts with us on BBC Radio 5 Live as we head towards midnight. Costa Rica against Greece. 6 penalties taken, all 6 scored. It's 3-3. It's Joel Campbell's turn. Arsenal players had a really good World Cup. Looked exhausted in extra time. Has he got the energy? Has he got the will? Does he really believe that he's going to put this in the back of the net? Looks a tad nervous to me. Hands on hips. Up against Carneses. Campbell takes 2 steps to the right. Little shuffle. And now slowly makes his way towards the ball. Campbell, cool as you like. Into the bottom corner. Carneses, no chance. Went the wrong way. 4-3 Costa Rica.
What a penalty. The ref blows the whistle. He waits. Takes a step to his right. Takes a step to his right. Slowly walks up to the ball and just places it in like it's a training ground drill. Incredible. Incredible. Incredible goal. Wow.
Jason Roberts can't get over it. Theofanis Gekis comes forward. This gets interesting now. Costa Rica lead 4-3. If Navas saves this and Costa Rica score their next one, they're in the quarterfinals of the World Cup. Gekas will know that. Very, very experienced striker. He's going to start his run from just inside the area. Navas like a boxer on the balls of his feet, just bouncing around on the line, chucking a right hand out and a left hand. Here comes Gekas, jumps into his run. What a save! What a save from Keylor Navas! Threw an arm up to his right hand side. It's a brilliant save, and Gekas buries his head in his shirt, and Costa Rica are one successful penalty kick away from a World Cup quarter-final for the very first time in their history, and that is a brilliant bit of goalkeeping.
I always felt like Navas was in his head there. He was bouncing from side to side, had his left hand up, his right hand up. It's not a bad penalty from Gekas. It's maybe a good height for the keeper, but you've got a feel for him. Navas with a tremendous save, was right out of his goal, by the way. At first I thought the referee was going to pull him out. Keepers have been getting away with that.
This is it. This is it. This is the most important kick of a football in Costa Rican footballing history, and it falls to one of their more experienced players. It's Michael Umania, the 31-year-old centre-back. If he scores this, Costa Rica are through. Every single one of his teammates is on their knees praying on the halfway line. Umania steps back. What a moment for him. What a moment potentially for Costa Rica. It's been an incredible World Cup. Will it continue? Umania scores! And Costa Rica are through to the quarterfinals to face Holland. Thanks to some brilliant goalkeeping from Keylor Navas, who was absolutely superb throughout the game with some blinding saves in the 120 minutes. An incredible penalty save from Gekas, and Umania, as cool as you like, roofs his penalty, and Costa Rica beat Greece 5-3 on penalties. They'll meet Holland in the quarterfinals of the World Cup. Wow!
Umania, no nerves whatsoever. Did it like he's done it a million times. He's running around. I'm not sure where he's going. He's looking for his family. He's looking for a flag. He's looking for anything. The Costa Rica players cannot believe it. What a shift they've put in. What a performance they've put in to play with 10 men for so long and to hold on and to maintain their composure during those penalties. As good penalties as you will ever see, as were the Greece ones. But they should celebrate now. They deserve this. This is history for their country. Incredible scenes.
Well, some of those Costa Rican players, as you'd expect, heads down. I'm looking at Jose Cubera at the moment, and he is in absolute floods of tears. He can't control himself. So are the Greek players as well. They came so close once again. They equalised in the 91st minute. Tonight really has to be Keylor Navas's night, Jason. We said it before the penalty shootout. He is a brilliant goalkeeper. He was having an inspired night, and the penalty save from Gekas was quite brilliant. But then you've got to admire Umania, because he would have known what that penalty meant, and he took it quite brilliantly. An incredible night for Costa Rica.
Umania, no nerves, like I said earlier. He just stepped up. There was never any doubt. Took a big breath before he took the penalty and just put it in. You see how much it means to them. Navas was going to be the hero today. He was absolutely outstanding. 2 or 3 saves as good as goals. Absolutely incredible from Costa Rica. They deserve it. You've got to feel for the Greece players. Played a fantastic game, took good penalties, but in the end lost to Costa Rica, who probably deserved it.